Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought in another fantastic group of indie comic creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And, without further ado, let's bring on uh, our pair of co-hosts or co-hosts and all that good stuff. Let's start out with Mr. Joe D Mcphee. How you doing, Joe?
I'm present and I'm here, and I guess I'm filling in for I can't even think of his name from it came from the radio show.
No, you're not filling in. I'm rotating, so you're not filling in for anybody. You're just you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just me, people. Hope you're having a good evening.
All right. And the Coco.
How's my hair? How's my hair today?
Bro, I told you you got bad hair, bro. It looks like you just woke up, bro.
I got any bears in the cave?
Yeah, probably.
I'm filling in for me tonight. I'm coming back with a vengeance. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is JD Rosario, and I've been putting together some books under the Unstoppable Comics imprint for a couple years now. I want to hang out, have some fun, have a couple drinks, and a couple laughs tonight.
Nice. Mr. Marvin.
What's going on?
Introduce yourself.
Marvin Wynn, writer of The Edge from Comicsburg. I'm here to start trouble and keep JD in line.
That's it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
We're gonna make it happen. We got a lot of time left in this year. Con season's getting ready to start. We about to hit the roads, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Ozzy, introduce yourself, please.
How's it going? My name is Ozzy Longoria. I own Gemini Comics, and I'm doing some Sword and the Sorcerer book.
All right, cool. Travis.
Hello, I'm Travis Bowen. I'm from Lakeshore Comics, and we're working on an upcoming project called Broken Trident. It's on Kickstarter now for the next 5 days.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. What's up, Mr. Dave?
Hey, I'm Dave Steinborn, Lakeshore Comics, co-creator, writer, Broken Trident, what Travis said.
Gotcha. What's up, Randy?
How's my hair? No, just kidding. Hey, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I'm a longtime alternative and independent comics producer. I am part or running Stagecoach over Arrow Comics, and I am part of the Ragin' 2 network, doing dispatches outside the box on Tuesday nights and Zimcast on Wednesday nights, and also Sunday Funnies on Sunday morning. So,
all right, cool.
Staying busy talking about what we love, comics.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Pops? Hey, yo.
Pops in the house.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. We got a full slate of people here, so we're gonna start fairly hard, right? I saw Mr. Rosario get into a conversation with a certain person on. I shouldn't say a certain person. It's, Ray Felix, I believe it was. Was it Ray Felix?
I don't know.
No, it was a superhero conversation you were having online.
With who?
All right, here we go. Our superhero.
Bro, I got a ton of conversations going on. You know what I mean? You got to be more specific. Who to have a conversation with? What was it about? What was it about?
This is the question. Are superheroes played out? If not, what are you doing to separate yourself from what has already been done?
Okay. Was that with Ramon?
Ramon, right? Yeah, Ramon Gill. Yeah.
Okay.
That was,
so let me get
right,
a little bit more context.
Hold on, Mr. Co-host.
Yes.
Guest first. You're last.
Oh,
right.
Okay. My apologies, but a little bit more context because your question was a little too general. All right. And what Ramon, who is a very good dude. All right.
He is.
I'm not saying anything bad about Ramon, but it's just a conversation that's out there. So Ramon came out and said something to the effect of superhero comics are dead. People coming into this should not be doing superhero comic books. They're not going to make any money on it. So I, being the contrarian that I am, said, no, I can't agree with your statement because I've been doing superhero comic books since 2008. That is the majority of my catalog, and that has kept me in business up to this point. I felt it was not the genre that is the problem, and it is self-publishers' lack of business fundamentals in preparing and purchasing product and trying to last long enough to become something that is viable.
All right. So back to the original question. Are superheroes played out? Right?
Okay.
And that's the first question. And the B question to that is, or the A question, if not, what are you doing to separate yourself from what has already been done?
Okay.
So, and that's only if you're doing a superhero comics. Not all of us are doing superhero comics. So, let's. So I'll give that easy out to whoever's not participating in that. But there are a couple people who are doing those. So Travis, you're up.
I mean, our project doesn't have traditional superheroes, I guess, but they're still heroes in the sense that they're beings with power that are on some kind of a mission to do something to better the world, right? I would say that the genre of superheroes can't be dead. It's something that's going to live no matter what. I mean, obviously the big two are always going to have their big superheroes, but there's no reason that others can't create them. And to back that up, I don't have all the information in front of me, but it was a Kickstarter project that I looked at when I was just browsing through. And there was a very traditional superhero comic being published, or they were working on their Kickstarter. They funded in like one day, and it was based on just really basic archetype superheroes. I don't think that genre is dead at all. As a matter of fact, I would think that indie comics creators might be able to bring a whole new light to it.
I would think Invincible is a good proof that it's not dead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Invincible did have a boost. Those 6 weeks that they were on Amazon premiering, the sales. I think he did over 100,000 graphic novels.
Oh wow!
Sold on Amazon in those 6 weeks alone, at an average of $13.99, right? Because you figure some of them are soft cover, some of them are hardcover, stuff like that. Between all of them, the average is about $13.99. 100,000 units. That's $1.3 million in sales. I mean, of course, it had that boost of the show, but still, it's a superhero book based off the Superman archetype. So, I mean,
Ozzy, what do you think?
Yeah, but since I can remember, superheroes goes up and down. It depends on the hero. I remember Batman being like down at one point, Superman dead completely, literally. But even in sales, like goes up and down. And right now, I don't see how. I was actually I'm on that conversation with Ramon Gil. I did a book with him. I did a short story for one of his anthologies, but I really don't agree with that statement. And he was discouraging a lot of people, like because he's got students, right? And that's not a good thing to say for a teacher. So
yeah, and Ramon's a great networker. He does a lot of outreach in the community. I really like him. So again, I don't want to come into this saying that I'm attacking Ramon or coming at him in any way.
I like Ramon too, but I disagree with him, and I posted that no, that's not the case.
Right.
And really, no, you can't kill superheroes. That's the most popular genre
in comics. Marvin, what do you got? Because I know you have
movies too.
Well, I mean, let's look at it as a whole. So you've got The Boys, and you just recently had a Boys animated series just start. And I mean, those are like you're spinning off that show into other avenues of more superheroes. Netflix has a superhero show, so there's all these things are bouncing up and booming. I don't see how you can say that it's a played out genre, because if that's a played out genre, is horror played out genre? Because I see a lot more horror books bouncing out now than I do new superhero titles,
Yes.
especially in indies. So, or is that genre going to get played out next? So I mean, it's like you said, the things go up and down, but I mean, you're telling a story, and you tell that story in the fashion that works for you. You don't just say that, well, I'm going to tell my story, but maybe it works in this, maybe it works in that. I mean, can the story go in different genres? Can you have a superhero horror sci-fi book? I mean, my book is up front is sci-fi more than a superhero.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think that you really need to look at that and say, if you're saying that things are played out, then you're setting yourself up to play other things out. So you're saying that superheroes are played out. We're going to dip our toes in horror for a while until that's played out. Then where do you go? Sci-fi. Then are you going to do romantic comics? Right. So
Westerns.
You're going to just bounce from one genre to the other once they get played out. Then, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do have to just say real quick, I agree with that. And I would say that any time that you're talking about something being played out, to me, that, I mean, I'm not writing a superhero book yet, but that's just a challenge. Like, what can you bring to the genre that's going to change it a little bit, or at least be a little bit different? And if you do that, you're going to have something that sells, at least in my opinion. I mean, everybody that's used to traditional superhero books, like, I got huge into Invincible thanks to Amazon and watching it first. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pretend like I was reading the books beforehand, but I got huge into that, and then I read all of it too, and it really did. It brought a totally different element to a genre that it definitely is not dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to dip my toe into the Superman archetype probably next year with my character who has PTSD and doesn't want to fight anymore.
I
love it.
Dave, how do you feel about it?
Like I said, I mean, when I brought up Invincible, like Travis said, I mean, that's kind of proof right there. That's pretty new. I can't remember when the comic came out, but it's relatively new. So, I mean, it's definitely not dead. I mean, you look back at like the 90s when it was really booming, like the Jim Lee X-Men era and everything. It was so big. And then it did take a huge dip after that when all those writers left to Image, and the X-Men was terrible, and I didn't read much else at that time, but I feel like everything, when I looked at the comic shelves, it just was so big, and then nothing looked the same. But no, I think, like Travis said too, it just brings a new challenge. You're gonna rise to it or you're not. Like, if you bring a good story out, it doesn't matter what genre it's in.
This is true. All right, hold on. Let me pull up a couple of these. I don't think the super hard genre will ever die. And long live the superhero.
Agreed.
Tail Rider disagrees. Die, superhero die. I have the chat to myself. What kind of trouble can I cause? It says Sunsword Swings and Vengeance. There you go. Good book.
I mean, it's just another mythology, right? Like you had your Greek mythologies, your Roman mythologies, you had your Hercules and your Samsons and all these other characters. It's just those guys were superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. 100%.
And I gotta say, he's the most profitable too. I don't think there is any other genre that can generate that much money.
Not currently, at least not in the direct market.
I don't do superheroes, but I don't focus that much on superheroes, but I really think that's the main genre.
Right. I mean, and it's easily convertible into other media. So toys, movies, cartoons, and things like that. You're not going to see Dracula animated series for the most part. I mean, unless you count Vampire Hunter D.
Or like Castlevania.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like 1 to 50 or something. I mean,
and that's not even the traditional Dracula story either. That was just a spin-off. But
Randy, what are your thoughts?
All I can do is echo what everybody else here said. No, actually, if Ramon is out there actually teaching and has students in sequential art, and he says that superheroes are dead, there's a problem. I think there's a deeply rooted problem. sequential art isn't dead. Is the Western dead? I see more Westerns now than I've seen in the last 10 years. You know, is our romance comics dead? Probably, but we'll see what happens within the next couple of years. It's a genre, just like somebody else said here, and it's what you bring to the table that makes it or breaks it.
But
And if they're stale to you, if they've been done, then do something else. But if you really think it's all old news, why don't you do one that's not?
Mhm.
You know, make a brand, do an icon, make your mark, you know, in doing something. I have a character now that was going to be, anyway, part of the Long Shots deal that I was especially proud of. That was my take on Superman. I thought went over really well and went through in incredibly good, and was like nothing that's out there right now at all. And I know, because I looked, I went and read everything. I did my research, and the idea of the hero and Campbell's recitation on it, what actually makes heroic fiction, is never going to die, whether the guy's wearing a costume or he's Joe Blow next door. You know, that kind of fiction is never going to die, and fast-paced pulp type fiction isn't going to die either. You know, and thinking that, saying that is cutting yourself out of a large portion of what sequential art is. You want to know what you can do with a superhero? You sit down and read Eisner's Spirit, you know, where he was supposedly a superhero, but he tells every type of story under the sun except a superhero story. You know, you want to, Invincible is a good example, though I can't say from a personal perspective. That's one of the things I really need to sit down and look at, especially the animated show, from what I hear. But that's the only thing that I haven't, you know, watched lately, and I probably should have, considering how much time I had in front of a TV screen with nothing to do. But you've got to go out there and say your own personal story, whether you do it as a fantasy, as a superhero story, as a science fiction story, as a Western story. You're still going to tell heroic fiction. You know, you're still going to have good versus your basic story, good versus evil, a person conquering. That sounds like Porky Pig there for a second. Over top of unreachable odds.
Right.
And if he's wearing a cape and a mask, hey, everybody's going to label it a superhero story.
Right, but I mean, even looking at some of outside the action genre itself, the longer those things go, like look at those Fast and Furious movies. They're superheroes now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
John McClane is a superhero.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They went from thieves to spies to superheroes.
Yeah.
They definitely seem to have superpowers sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe Ramon was speaking from the personal level, that he doesn't have any more superhero stories to tell, or I don't know.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm chomping on the bit. Jay.
Hold on. Joe has to say his part first.
Oh my God!
They wanna hear me.
Put Joe. Now Joe's gonna say something. Fire me up.
Okay, JD, I'm going to set you up here. I'm going to set you up. You're going to have the rant of your lifetime after I get done.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm ready. I'm already. I'm fired up, kid. The gears are running.
All right. I'm going to say exactly what I said the exact same time that somebody asked me to comment on Scorsese when he came after the MCU talking about it's not cinema. You cannot be angry that your genre is not at bat, especially when you have not done anything to further the influence or the technique to bring the people in to watch that type of story.
So true.
You can't just rely on a name or IP. You have to do the work in order to get the people there. Period. So if you feel that superheroes are dead and buried and everything, guess what? That's normally coming from a place from whether A, you have no great ideas in that genre, or B, you're getting jealous because the things that you could work on is up that's in your wheelhouse is not popular. And guess what? That's on you to make it popular. That's on you to get that fan base active to making what you're trying to do just as popular as a lot of these other superhero IPs. That's on nobody else. So to sway somebody one way or the other is very wrong. You should be encouraging to create whatever they feel is the best thing that they could create from their mind and from their hands. Period. End of story. Now, Mr. Rosario.
No, wait, so hold on. Before we get to Rosario, let me read off some of these first. Because the more I torture him, the better.
You up.
Phil Ryder says, I think stories are only played out when they're mediocre. If the story and art is top notch, the house can break through the played out thing. All right, they can. Hey, I now miss romance comics, Penthouse comics. If anyone remembers
those were superhero comics. Penthouse comics had superheroes.
Some of them,
Yep. No, not some of them, all of them. As a matter of fact, they got Adam Hughes and Bart Sears to do those books. You can find them. And listen, the only ones better than those were the Hustler ones. Woof, we won't even talk about that.
Before you go to Mr. Rosario, I want to make a quick comment what Joe said about Scorsese, and he wasn't the only one. And the thing about that is, you will notice that they made their attack when they were promoting their movies to get attention. That was all that was about. It wasn't anything to do with anybody who was watching his movies. It was about promotion. They knew that their movies weren't going to sell, and the audience wasn't going to pay attention. So what do? You go and ruffle the feathers.
That's right.
Yep.
Use a trigger phrase, anything that can draw from a different market and bring eyes onto yours.
Yep. Well, and at what time in history have there been more eyes on superhero stories than in the last 15, 20 years? I mean, I get some of us might feel a little bit burned out with how many of those superhero stories are now on screen. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people that I talk to I'm so sick of these Marvel movies, blah, 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 blah. Well, fine, whatever. But
again, there's musicals that are out there. There's romance movies out there. There's all these other movies out there, and they bomb at the box office. Why? Because they refuse to go to it, or they're not bringing anything new to the table. Again, I don't care if it was a publicity stunt or anything. Scorsese didn't bring anything new. Everybody's trying to do the exact same thing up on the exact same model because their investors are investing in this and that's what they want, instead of pushing the genre further. Period.
Yeah, cool. Let me finish up with these. I can't tell my personal stories. The feds will come get me. So as soon as I'm not on the show, Mr. Rosario shows up. He sniffs his armpits. Yo, bro, what's up?
Bro, they don't allow too many Puerto Ricans on the show at one time. You know what I mean? We gotta watch out, man. There's a quote.
Superheroes equal stripper can control her glitter to shoot it out like glass shards, or force it to someone's respiratory system to smother a person. You won't go free to use that. All right, there you go. All right, so.
That could be Dazzler's new power in the X-Men.
Oh, man. All right. Whether people have forgotten this or never knew this, there are only 37 dramatic themes. Okay, it's out there. It's legitimate. How you dress those themes up from your perspective, the continuity, the hook. That's what makes it different. All right. Whether it's a story about someone losing their child, that could be played in a superhero story, that could be played in a horror story, Aliens, Ripley, that could be played in a zombie story, that could be played, sci-fi, romance, genre after genre. Now, coming from New York, there are pizzerias on every block. All right, whether it's high-end, hoity-toity artisanal pizza to 99-cent Gerboni on the block pizza. All right, and they're all existing. If I if I wanted to open up a pizzeria, would I be scared? Oh my God, there's so much competition out here. I'm not going to open a pizzeria in New York. No, you do it. And that's shown me that if there's still places opening up all the time, then why can't that same thing be applied to the genre that I have been succeeding in since 2008? Now, I'm not going to come out the bat and say, oh my God, my first book was this monumental success. No, it took me a while to come out of the red. I had a hell of a lot of mistakes that I needed to learn from, right? And I needed to implement Business 101. Now, if you're trying to get your product viewed out there, pushed on another level, how many of us are using a publicist to help promote our work? I know I'm not. Yeah. I'm not, right? Someone with actual connections to different industries with a repertoire, a resume of people that do live streams, podcasts, blogging on another level. Have any of us cheap ass motherfuckers, let's say it like that, right? Found a way to factor that into our budget to utilize that to promote our product on another level? I know I have, right? That's one of the things I haven't done. One of the things I need to change. Now look at some of the stuff that is in the superhero genre that has been making headway these last few weeks. Zero, creator-owned from DC, all right, because it has 50 Cent behind it, that thing is plugging all over the place, all right? Just last week, we had a property from Boom who had a first look deal with Fox Studios for years before it became Disney. I don't know where they stand right now, all right? How did they get their book Irredeemable from Mark Waid that is over 10 to 12 years old pushed out there right now and to be optioned to a live product? Was it a publicist? Was it their connections? Whatever it is, someone fucking bid on it. And it shows that products like this, and let's be honest, I'm sorry, Zero was at the fucking bottom of the barrel. Whether DC never promoted it because it was creator owned, just like Chris Claremont's Sovereign 7, and because they didn't have, complete control over it, they didn't decide to push it as well as it was. I don't really remember Zero when it came out at all. Yet that product is boom. It's all over the internet now, right? So we've got two superhero properties that are coming out of pretty much obscurity and being bit for live action product. So it shows you that superhero stuff is still in demand, or at least the outside markets are looking at superhero products and seeing if they can do something for them.
All right, fair enough. I mean, look, it all depends on the product. I mean, if you're putting out a good book, you're putting out a good book, and that's really all that matters. As far as I'm concerned, it's just I think.
I'm not shitting on the people that do, the million Cthulhu books that are out there, right?
Million and 15, yes.
Right? They're making their money. God bless them. You're making your fucking money. I'm not going to knock on you for that. There's people doing porn books. Okay. You're making your money. If you're succeeding and you're not mortgaging your house or fucking taking your rent to put up your books, then fucking do your thing, man. Do your fucking thing. Now, my master class for $10.99 a month will be showing up in the next.
And that's something that bothers me. Is Ramon's out there teaching comics? Is he teaching sequential art? And he's telling everybody the superhero is dead?
Well, he's not teaching sequential art. He's a writer. He hires his team. He works with FIT out here in New York, the Fashion Institute of Technology, which is prestigious. And he holds many networking events, introducing people to industry insiders and stuff like that.
He's actually a good guy.
Okay, he really is. He really is.
He really is. Mm-hmm.
Well, so I'm sorry. It's just I've run across a couple of folks that think that they teach sequential art that have no idea about what a panel-to-panel continuity is. That's why I was speaking up.
So. That is true.
Says Carlos Rafael says eventually an agent would be advantageous to further the commercial cause. Lola says, "Hey, Phil Writer."
Okay.
Carlos Rafael says an agent.
Meats.
Mr. Medina says, "Good evening, gentlemen. It's a full house tonight." Yes, it is.
Yes.
And hey, what's wrong with Cthulhu?
Nothing's wrong with Cthulhu.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, only that there's a dearth of it, and a lot of it's being done poorly. But that's just about anything.
Well, I feel that way about horror in general.
Right.
Is that it seems to be an easy crutch, especially in the independent and alternative market, to tell a story. They seem to always rely back on bad horror movies. You know,
products sometimes fall flat, and people blame it falling flat on other medium. Let's look at remember the Charlie's Angels remake that came out a few years ago with the girl from Twilight. I forget her name.
Oh
yeah. Now that you mention it,
okay,
I had
so
forgotten about it. Go ahead.
The producer who did the Pitch Perfect movies, you know, was saying, "Oh, guys don't want to watch a feminist-led chick flick," and I think that's bullshit, right? Because I saw this Charlie's Angels flick and it fell flat, right? But let's talk about how many female-led movies that I will rave about: Atomic Blonde, Salt, her Pitch Perfect movies.
Alien.
I like the Pitch Perfect. Alien, of course.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. You
Kill
know
Bill.
what I mean? Yeah, so there's a lot of female-driven flicks. Shit, I even like Black Widow. People are crapping on it. I fucking like Black Widow. All right.
I like Black Widow.
Yeah.
It was okay.
So don't blame your lack of a good product on the outside forces that people don't want to buy into it.
Your lack of talent, your lack of skill.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Your inability to tell a story, your unwillingness to do the work. Yeah.
Well, felt the need to
stir it up a little, guys. Come on.
Yep. Yeah. And then Carlos says horror is hot because right now the indie hit market is horror comics, so everyone is trying to get a horror hit. As soon as it turns to sci-fi and super romance, the market will flood with those genres. True enough. Do we have to talk about female characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very much the thing that I write the most is female characters.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
Well, Joe, you're up. What's your question?
my question here is, since we could shut the other one kind of short, my question is dealing with this here. When thinking about marketing your own product, how often do you pay attention to what the customer asks you for as opposed to what you could always produce? For example, if you had people all of a sudden started asking you for CGC copies of your book, would you start the process of getting your membership and then submitting to CGC to have those books available for them at the next show?
Gotcha. Let's start with everything got screwed up since Joe moved. So I think I started with Travis, and I think Ozzy's supposed to be next. And the naked guy is back. Son of a bitch.
What?
It's in the chat. It's in the chat. It's some dude. They post some porn links in the chat. You know, it's just yeah.
Somebody must love your site. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they're watching your channel constantly. He's
we were
live.
talking
Let's
about
start spamming
comics. That's just live action version of that, right? I mean,
it's heroic action sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
heroic indeed.
from Hustler to Pornhub.
There you go. So Ozzy, what do you think on the question that Joe just asked?
Sorry, I didn't follow that question. I didn't understand. Can you repeat?
The question is dealing with how close do you pay attention to what your fan base and or customer wants? For example, one of the examples I put out there was at a show, I had on display CGC certified copies of books. This is just stuff that I had. I actually had customers come up and wanting to buy them.
Right. Well,
it's like, and I'm saying, does that set the wheel for you? Would that set the wheels in motion to start moving in that direction?
Yeah.
Or would you just blow it off or look at a different avenue?
I don't listen to fans that much, but I listen to creators like yourselves. I review your campaigns, I review what you do, and I follow that trend, or it's not a trend, yeah, but I want to follow that, and I have listened to JD. Um, he has given me so many advices, but I I can go for what one fan tells me to that I need to do. It's just not I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing to follow. But a creator who's got more experience is a different story. I do follow that. I do listen and learn.
Okay. Randy, what do you got?
A sure way of going bankrupt is trying to cater to every fan that comes up to you and asks you for something specific. You have to do what you feel is best and what you feel is going to net you the most income. Obviously, it's just a common business sense, and you can't please everybody. You know, and there's just some things that I would do and some things that I wouldn't do, but but before I'd listen to any fan, it'd have to be a lot of people asking. You know, and a lot of and like Ozzy said, people that I respect, other people that are already in the business that have gone around and tried things and have done things that have become successful. I used to do shows every year, and I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Krause or not, but Robert Krause is a marketing madman, and he would always have some new tchotchke at the show. And we could see the following year, everybody would have the exact same tchotchke that Bob had because Bob was first, and he was always jumping in, whether it was keychains, shot glasses. He ended up making a real living doing trading cards and sketches of trading cards and cartoony figures that are like Funko Pops, and he's done that very incredibly successfully. But before he did that, he was doing ash can books and all sorts of unusual things to try to see what sold, what didn't sell. To an extent, we have to be the same way and try to get ahead of that curve. But we also have to look and see what everybody else is doing and not do what absolutely everybody else is doing. You know, we have to be the unique one to stand out to get the little extra income. So as far as marketing goes, there's always going to be a new angle that's going to spring up. Somebody's going to try this or try that, and they should. And we especially, because we're independent and alternative comics people, we should be thinking outside the box as much as we possibly can. Not just conventions, not just retailers, but seeing what we can get as far as our product out to the masses to be read by as wide a thing as possible. So, and it's a great time to be doing comics now, whatever comics you're doing, because the market is opening and it needs to be kicked open wider. I look forward to seeing what other people are doing, you know.
True. All right, Marvin, what do you got?
I'm going to go sideways on this one. So if someone comes up to me and asks for something custom, I'm going to charge them custom prices.
Sure.
That's a custom.
Nice.
You're asking me for something specific that I don't have right there on the table. We can talk about it, but it's going to cost.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Dave, what do you got?
I mean, this is our first Kickstarter and our first comic, so I mean, we basically wouldn't be here if we hadn't listened to other creators. I mean, the fans are just now coming in, but I mean, I have to agree with what most people said. If you know, one fan asked for something, I mean, you can't really accommodate that and mass produce something based on what one fan said. But then I'd go right back to what Marvin said and agree with that as well. If they really want it, how much are they willing to pay for it? You know, because then can it be done? How much is it going to cost us, and how much do we need to charge to then make a profit on that based on that cost?
All right. Yeah. Cool. Travis, what do you got?
I'm glad. I have a little bit on this. So I used to own a business that I traveled around and did a lot of different trade shows in. It was a leather business. I basically made a lot of belts, and I had other products and whatever. There were wallets and all that stuff. But the one thing that I learned from doing that business with all those trade shows was every single person that comes up to that booth will say, well, you don't have this exact kind of wallet or this exact kind of change purse, or you should do this because you do leather and it should be this way, and you should do this because it should be this way. And no, I'm sorry, I can't remember who said this, but you want to cater to what actually sells. If there's overwhelming demand for something that you don't have, then you're making a mistake. But to drop everything and just to create something for one individual person, you're gonna go bankrupt. That's my attitude.
Unless it's worth your money to do it.
Well,
Right, like what Marvin
the custom line was dead on. Like
100%.
Perfect example. Somebody wanted me to like custom make these dog collars and leashes, which I had never done before. I mean, they paid out the butt for it, and it was worth it to me because they paid that higher attached price tag. But you also have to budget your time. You know, different people were asking me for different projects that would have taken hours and hours and hours. Like somebody asked me for a saddle at one point, and I'm like, I make belts. You know, I don't do that. And that saddle would have probably got me a couple grand. But it was
what is it that you do?
Yeah, you make.
So I mean, at that point, do you become a facilitator, and then you say that I'll go and find that thing for you, and you work a deal with someone else to facilitate it, and then you still get paid for.
Yeah. If I had been smarter and if I had a little bit more time, I started that business when I was 24, so that was a long time ago. But yeah, that's a good way to look at it. If you have a way of facilitating it that you can still make money, definitely. But when you're talking about your work and your art and you're trying to go on and create the next issue, hopefully. Right. How much time do you really have to cater to one person's wants off of this idea?
Yeah. Gotcha. Hold on, let me go through a few of these. Lola says, wait, are all you writers? Most of us are, but Ozzy, Joe, and Randy are all artists. So
I'm a writer too.
I'm an artist. Right? Hold on a second.
Yeah, I write as well.
Don't just categorize me as a writer. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Well, I know you're a stripper too.
Damn right.
That's right. You know, but you know, we're trying to stay with me.
Did you just assume our job titles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually.
Are you serious right now with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're an artist as well, Marvin?
I can consider myself an artist, and also consider myself a gymnast, a race car driver, a
okay, gotcha.
And I can also be an attack helicopter if I need to be.
But the main thing, Mario, you're a venture capitalist. That's the cool
There
thing.
you go.
That's my favorite line from the show so far tonight. I also consider myself an attack helicopter.
Why not? So Lola's happy that we're smiling. Scott Rosenberg wants to come on the show. I sent the link. Whenever you show up, he shows up.
Is that Samson? That's the Samson.
Yeah, that's
right?
That's Samson. Yeah.
Okay.
If you can't, and then is it really your vision or your passion anymore? Jim says hello, and it came from the radio. What's up, Mark? Unless they pay in advance.
Right.
What else?
So can we go right back
This
to
is going to be interesting when it gets back to me.
Lola's comment about if you cater to a fan, is it your vision or passion? So you guys know that, or heard or know that I do a TV series with a friend of mine called Herrenberg, and he does customs for people, people write scripts for him, and they pay him, and then he pays the actresses, and then they film customs.
Oh, cool.
So I mean, is it or isn't it? I don't know. It's still his world and his characters, but someone else is writing a script for him. So if someone's paying you to write for you or create for you, then it's still your vision and your passion. It's just someone else's.
Yeah, for 10 years, I had a booth at conventions, and I used to do just commissions. It used to be commission galore. Actually, that's the title of the booth. And I used to just do whatever they asked me, like whatever commission. And I used to call myself a mercenary or a prostitute.
Yeah.
They just pay me, I'll do it. I don't care. I don't care what it is.
If the price is right, we are there.
Exactly.
Yeah. If I pay you to drive me to Florida,
So wait a minute here. We have a prostitute and a stripper in tonight's call.
And an attack helicopter.
And an attack helicopter. Holy wow, this is a big call.
Yeah.
How about a
One
gigolo?
thing we're missing now is the ballistic missile.
Yeah, I got that.
Nice. Mr. Rosario, you're up. What's your question, sir?
No, he hasn't answered the question.
Oh,
You
that's
haven't answered the question, and I haven't
That's
answered
right.
the question.
You're right. You're right. See, I'm rushing ahead.
You know, I love where everybody's answers going. I was really agreeing with Randy, and then Marvin had a great answer there as well. Travis as well. I mean, I summed it all up to is it cost effective? Right at the end of the day, if you're not going to lose your shirt, then it doesn't hurt to try it. Right? The other side of that coin is, do you test the waters and prepare products like that and use them as gifts and see if you get some people to buy it on the things that are left over? Like when I do Comic-Con here in New York, the team that's there, they always get something special that is not going to be sold to anybody else, whether it's a backpack, a special jersey, or stuff like that. And whatever, if the price point to order it is one or two more to get a price break, then I'll order one or two more, and we bring it with us to the convention. If we're wearing it, people see it. Then I go, do you have any more of that? And if we have something like that, yeah, we'll sell it. But it's not like I'm making money on it. I'm just pretty much lowering my price of how much I paid to get the stuff.
All right, cool. Well, as far as myself goes, I tend to make the stuff I want, right? So if I want a T-shirt, that's what I'm going to make and sell on my next Kickstarter. I got a T-shirt, I have a pin, I have buttons, I have all this stuff, and I have it because that's what I want. Because I'm a selfish, greedy bastard. That's what I do. All right. So if I like it, I'm gonna make it. It's why I have my tour. I have my figure. I wanted one. Right. I wanted this guy, so I had the guy made. Right. So that's how I roll. If I want it, I'm gonna make it eventually. Some stuff is really expensive, so sometimes I gotta wait for it. Like that was ridiculously expensive. T-shirts. I did this one right for the Oswald Chronicles. A few $100. Within very doable. Anybody can do a T-shirt. Thank you, Randy. I did pins, $300. Well within reach. It's something that can be done. I wanted them. I got them done. So yeah, that's how I roll with it. As far as someone asking me for something, I agree with everyone else. It depends. It really, really depends how many people ask. If I get a lot of requests, then sure. But it's one of those things you got to wait on. All right, now, Mr. McFee, what's your answer?
Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more context to this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you should have done that before we answered.
No, because again, I wanted to see where you guys were going to go with this. Because the CGC example was after several years, because these were CGC copies of the books that I had, just for my personal aspect just to have them. And sometimes I use them for display. Over the last, I would say 2 to 3 years, I began to see a trend of a lot of people wanting more and more graded books, and people were coming up to me instead of getting like the regular raw books. They was up here, it was like, hey, can we get this one, this gray core cover that you have CGC certified? I was like, no, you can't. But when I started seeing more and more people asking for it, then it put it in my mind, it's like, maybe I need to start, shipping some of those off the CGC and just having one or two just offhand when somebody does ask, because now I have people asking. It was never about just the one-offs. it was always about, do you really listen to the fans that really come up? Not just one, several. It's not just like for example, not one person just coming up and asking you for something that's custom. Customs are a completely different aspect of it. That's more along the lines of, do you really feel like doing this or don't you? You know, what I'm looking at is, you have people who are like long time, or, you know, see you each and every year, and then all of a sudden now they're finally paying attention to something that has been there for years, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you know, can I get that now? And it's like, that's interesting. Why all of a sudden you want the graded books? And then next thing you know, here comes somebody else, and here comes somebody else, and here comes somebody else. Time to get graded books. You know, hey, I like that graphic. Can I get it in the print? Nah. Then here comes somebody else, and here comes somebody else, and here comes somebody else. And this is after several years. Yeah, now I'm going to go out there and figure out a way to put it out there, and then market the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a special case also, because you have a Greg Land cover.
Right.
Great horn. Yeah, actually,
Horn,
the second one, that's where I'm working with the sketchbook right now, for I could do the other issue that's supposed to be the second use of the Greg Horn cover. I have two.
Oh, Greg Horn. Sorry.
Yeah, I got
two.
two.
Yeah, but that's somebody that folks collect variant covers of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they'd want a CGC. I could see them asking for a CGC version of it. Absolutely.
All right.
It's very different for to sell something in a campaign and selling it at conventions, because at a Kickstarter, let's say you're paying top price for it, and it's, even if you sell one, it's like, okay, you can order one,
right,
and it's fine. So,
well, Carlos Rafael says, I had 4 of my books graded. I'm still waiting for those to arrive 5 months later. Good luck getting your books in less than a year. Yeah,
yeah.
Right. It takes that long time.
Well, yeah, actually, right now it's like, if you want it sped up to get it in 5 months, you got to spend an extra $75.
They've fallen way behind.
Yeah,
yeah, that's absolutely nuts.
I was gonna do that for my book, but
I mean, that's just an opening for someone to jump into that market. That's all.
Yeah.
It's also a temporary thing too, because when we were down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve, everybody started going through their comic collections, because what else are you going to do?
Right.
True. Mr. Rosario, what's your question, sir?
It's funny. I had one thing going into this, and after hearing all these answers from Joe's question, I want to change my question. Hopefully, we get a chance to roll around for my second one. But the question, and give me a second here, I'm still formulating this. Why are we focusing so much on the tchotchkes as opposed to reinvesting that money to create more content? And I will also say I am guilty of this as well. Okay. But if we create more content, right, then the gimmick becomes the collected edition that you can sell for a higher margin, and end up recouping the financial rewards afterwards. So why are people chasing the tchotchkes?
All right, Randy, you're up.
Probably because they see some quick, easy money in it.
Okay.
If they can invest a little and get a decent return and more than cover their investment, they're going to do it. I mean, I got people in crowdfunding now that are a year or 2 years late on their book, but they're real busy selling their T-shirts and toys.
Right.
You know. But I agree with you. There should be a concentration on content, because that's really what we're there for in the first place.
All right, fair enough. Marvin?
I don't have anything but comics on my table with them. Sorry. That's right now, though. You know, I got action figures coming, but they're not on the table yet. So that's right.
All right.
Yeah,
Fair enough, Dave.
I think I get. I think Randy's right. It's like it's a quick sell. Like you're at a comic show and you're surrounded by other people selling toys.
Yeah.
And other things of that nature. So why not?
Mm. All right, cool. Dave, you got anything? What you got?
Again, like I said, this is our first one, so I mean, it's kind of just trying to, follow the mold a little bit. And when we, went through what other people are doing on Kickstarter, we're like, okay, we should offer some other things, and we kind of went with, I guess, more some of the stuff anyway, more basic stuff. Like we have some T-shirts ready to go, and JD, I think I showed you the little Lego guy, and kind of like along the lines of what you said, I wanted this, like, and Travis like about died when he saw it in person, and then the other thing that we're offering is this like metal can koozie, which is pretty cool. But the nice thing about that was like it's got our logo on the one side and the Broken Trident logo on the other. But I know the guys that etch those, so if I don't sell any on the Kickstarter, then I'm not out anything. If I do sell them, I'll make a little bit of money on them. And maybe we'll print a couple extras for cons or something, but we are focusing more on content and less on the other things. But we did want a couple other little things, I guess, from what I was learning as I was getting into the Kickstarter stuff, to maybe draw in the attention of someone that maybe wants to back to help you out or whatever, but isn't so into comics, but they'd like another product.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
I guess the only thing I can add to that is, well, I'm really not a huge fan of the tchotchkes. I've never heard them called that.
I love that term.
That's perfect. I'm not a huge fan of doing it, but if you really think about what a Kickstarter is, which is what obviously is what we're doing, but when you think about what a Kickstarter is, people are investing in an idea, and they're investing in something that they, depending on their mindset, maybe they just want the book because they just want to sit and read it and they don't care, but maybe they're looking at it and saying, wow, this could be a big thing. And when you think about like that Lego minifigure that he just showed, sure, we can all dream and say it's going to get big someday, and if it does, it's going to be this. Well, if there are mass-produced Lego figures at some point, the originals that cost, I don't even know how much, Dave's the expert on that, 35. But those originals are going to be worth a whole lot more than the mass-produced that come later. So at least from a Kickstarter standpoint, I would look at the tchotchkes, if you're making them, highly collectible, as at least a way to like signal that you're trying to do something bigger than just put out a book or two.
Yeah, and I got a little luck because the property that I have is something that can be expanded just beyond comic books, and I'm trying to capitalize on that because let's say I'm getting merchandise. A lot of merchandise. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I got swords. I got and not only that. I wanna make a model that everything is ready to be shipped, and that's what I'm trying to do. I got 4 books finished of the Sword and the Sorcerer, and it's just gonna be. I'm not gonna. I mean, I cannot focus on more content because I only have a limit of time before my rights expire. So I have to invest and sell as much as I can.
Right.
And but I do wanna I don't wanna make the same mistakes I did in the last campaign, which I wasn't prepared. I didn't finish the books. I didn't have anything ready, and I'm behind. So I want to give them this time everything up front. Like, here, I'm showing you that I have the product in my hand, ready to ship. Mm-hmm. So that's just me and the model I'm trying to do. That can be a marketing tool too.
Yes, I wanna cap this off when we're all done. But that's the key right there. JD, where you at with this?
Me personally,
What
but
do you
it's like I said, I like stuff, so I make stuff that I like, and there you go. So I have the stuff, and I share the stuff with the people, and there you go. That's how I like it.
All right, let me set you up here again, Mr. Rosario.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. So whatchamacallit? Yeah. So after hearing everybody's stuff,
I haven't spoke yet.
I'm so sorry. I thought you did.
No.
I think we got a couple left here, don't we?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Marvin went. You went, Marvin?
Marvin picked up.
Okay, so it's just me that's still left before you because I have to reiterate something that Randy said. It's an easy sell. And I have to preface it as easy sell because when you truly think about marketing, not a lot of people are going to go into that issue number 1 thinking about whatever story that you're putting out there because 1, they don't know the characters, 2, they don't know what to expect, 3, you have to like really be nailing it on a pitch, from an elevator pitch or a long pitch from the bat and hit their wheelhouse from the very beginning. If you can't do that, guess what? They have to see something. They have to, vibe with something else, whether it be with an art print, whether it be with a t-shirt design or something of that magnitude. That's some of the reasons why they focus more on the tchotchkes. But what I think they need to stop doing is once they got it in with the tchotchkes, then they need to really hit that IP hard and the actual content.
Hit the IP hard.
Eventually, you want to run out of ideas for tchotchkes.
I feel that's too general a statement. What do you define? Please further define hit it hard.
When I say hit it hard, I talk about really getting into the crux to say saying that the t-shirts and stuff was really for the IP, the actual books or the content behind the books. And when I say hit it hard, I talk about wean them back over to, hey, read the story.
Okay.
Issue 2 coming out this date. Issue 3 coming out this date. Issue 4 coming out this date. And as you keep going, you slowly ease off of the tchotchkes all the way down until they actually start, wanting the book more so than the art prints and all the other stuff.
All right. Wait, let me add something to that because here it is. All joking aside, is when I do these pieces, I do these tchotchkes, whatever you want to refer to them as. Here's the thing: there's built-in profit in all of it. So my margin is usually 300-400% on those pieces. So when I make that, you understand, if I sell, once I hit the black, all that stuff is gravy. And for myself, all that goes back into the project. You understand? So all that extra money that I'm making goes right back into the project. So whether it's pins or whatever, I'm always making money. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, I like to joke about it. I do make the things that I enjoy, but there's money to be made. And I think, we're independent creators, got to try to make money wherever you can make it.
Yes.
And then like I said, for myself, I shove it right back into the project.
That's true, but it's going to take that main IP to expand to other mediums, meaning that it's going to take that comic book as a proof of concept to go into television, to film, and all the other stuff that people want to look at who don't have the same vision as far as the comic book is concerned here.
That's nice.
But it's nice, but you don't have to have it. But at the same time, everybody want to focus in on the toys and all this other stuff of characters that people don't know about. You need that focus on the books for people to learn about the characters in order to be like, hey, I want more of the toys. Hey, I want more of this in the long run. Mm-hmm. Once you get them in by an art print or whatever tchotchkes that it is, you have to get them to read the book and love the books.
No, of course, I agree with you 110%. But the thing I'm saying is, like for myself, and I'm sure Marvin and Jay and Ozzy, Randy, we have fan bases. They're not a million people, but we have a small amount. And those people within that fan base, some of them do want the t-shirts, some of them do want, those pins and whatever else. So I sell those things to them, generate this extra capital that I wouldn't normally have without those things. Yes. And that allows you to make more content for those same fans and hopefully generate more content for future fans. So
Yes.
you know that's the whole thing. So I wouldn't discount it. You know what I mean? I mean, I get
Right.
what you're saying. Where it's like, yeah, focus on the IP always, but sometimes you got to expand a little. You know, you got because I don't consider it because I don't consider it a step backward, take 2 steps forward. I consider it, you know, taking a half step to maybe take 2 more steps forward.
Right,
Can
but
I
at
cut
the
in
same
real
time, those are sometimes considered different markets too. Toys, video games, and games are different markets where those people might not read comic books. So you can sometimes do a swap with people. Like sell these toys to these people to make them read the comics, have them read the comics to sell the toys,
Yep.
the games,
Yes.
and other things.
But
and
Marvin, you and I both know that is a slippery slope, bro.
Yes, very much.
And Travis, I know you want to get into something, so go ahead because
you're good.
I wanna follow up on that. Right, JD, you know that as well. So when what Ozzy said when it comes to marketing, yeah, that's why he does these things. So yes, doing the tchotchkes like the keychains, the polyester drawstring backpacks, right? That have your branded logo that people are not going to pay for, but you could give them, you know, an added bonus, additional value in some sort of package, whether it's a reward tier, whether it's a mystery box at a convention, something that in the long term, other people are going to see, not just the person who's holding the product, right? And that's great. But when it comes to the figures, JD, Marvin, you guys both know the amount of money that I spent in just development, you know, the renderings. The sculpts. I could have produced at least 5 or 6 different books.
Right.
Right.
But
and the intent, like Marvin said, is to try to capture people in those other markets. Right. And I have enough product where if they're buying a figure, I can throw a book in there with each figure sale, and I'm not losing any skin in the game because we've bought at you know offset prices. So I can benefit in that way. But the amount of money I've invested, I have to see it through right now to recoup that much money. Because if not, then I'm fine. Right. But this all is coming out of I'm sorry, the director who did Ghostbusters. That his son just did the new Ghostbusters, right?
Oh, Harold Ramos' son.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was like, you know, what's your one biggest regret? And this is prior to him passing away. He was like, I wish I had made more movies. And at the end of the day, you know, we came into this to make comic books, right? Yes. Do we want all the other stuff that comes with it? Fuck yeah. I'm not going to say no, right? I want all that other shit that comes with it. But it was comic books that drew me into this from the beginning. And I want to make more fucking books, man. You know,
I mean, and that's why in this kind of situations you build relationships with people outside of your market. So instead of me beating my head against the wall like I was doing before, trying to make action figures, I went to people who were already doing it and did successful Kickstarters and things like that. You would Loose Collector. See, they did Critter or Tom Hutchinson, and they're doing a Kickstarter right now for just for a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde figure.
Right.
I went to those guys.
Look at this guy who did Plunderlings.
Yeah.
Right. I met him last year at New York Comic Con. Dominican dude, and I don't know if you guys know what Plunderlings are. Pretty much evil Smurfs, right? Yeah. And you know, he had them going, and he had a great stick with it. And now he's doing, you know, other versions of them. And I believe at $100,000 goal, he's at maybe 95 as of today, with another 20-something days to go. So I mean, he's created that market, but he's in that market, right? He hasn't done comic books, he hasn't done animation, he doesn't do T-shirts, right? Yeah. His thing is he is the tchotchke.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's where our networking comes in. And instead of us beating our head against the wall, we go out and we partner up with people who have the ability and the time to work into those markets and say, hey, how about we make a deal to do this, like I did with Luska? Like we made a deal, and that was like I've known Dave for a long time, and he said that, yeah, man, come on board, we can do this for you.
The operative word is licensing.
Yeah,
I guess
that's what a licensing contract does.
Yeah, but it's different because he's not. sorry, Marvin, please, I hope you don't take offense to this. He's not that viable product that,
Right.
hundreds of thousands of people are in demand asking for. So they're not going to come to him and say, oh, we want to license the product. He has to broker a deal.
Right.
So I think what he did is the exact
Whether
opposite.
it's brokered or not, it's still going to be some form of licensing. It doesn't matter if they come to him or he goes to them. He's still giving them rights to do X, Y, and Z with his images to create whatever figures or whatever animation and everything that needs to be done.
I'm going to take a drink. Okay.
I mean, from an amateur perspective, and I shouldn't call us amateurs, but a first-time creator perspective, the only thing that I have to add to this is Dave had a pretty good idea. He did these; they were pretty cheap, just stickers, right? And these stickers were designs of our characters, and they haven't even been shipped out to our Kickstarter people yet, but he gave some of them to his daughter and his son, and they had these stickers on like their notebooks or whatever they had them on,
Water bottles
and like the other kids in school were looking at them and they're like, who are these people? And I get like our comic is it's gonna be kid friendly. We're not going to great. Yeah, perfect. I mean, our comic is kid friendly, so maybe this isn't a marketing thing that will work for everybody, but like just having something cheap out there that spreads the word, that makes all the other kids in the room look at it and go, hey, what's that? I've never seen that before. And I mean, we only saw a little bit of success just because it was just his daughter and son. But I mean, Dave, how many times have you heard from their friends and whatever, like, I want this one or I want that one?
There was several times after Emma had them to begin with, and then like 3 days in a row, she came home and was like, I need more stickers. And her friends wanted the stickers. So, I mean, if that just spurs the question in maybe one of their parents' minds, even of, oh, what's this about? Where'd you get these? Spread the word any way we can, I guess.
In my case, it's a little different. It can be the opposite, actually. People, I posted a lot of in movie groups.
Okay.
And people are not interested in the comic, but they're interested in the merchandise. A lot of people ask me, and going back to if you listen to fans, now I remember that I did listen to a fan that told me that there is a market for swords, and there is no such thing as like Sword and the Sorcerer's sword, like anywhere, not even on the internet, like no bootlegs, nothing. So I'm gonna fulfill that gap, and I'm gonna try to sell the sword.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that because we have a 3D print file for a trident from our comic. We haven't done anything with it yet, but I had a guy do a 3D print file for it. So maybe eventually down the road we can do a life size trident. From our
Marvin, didn't you put up the swords that are in your book?
Mine?
Was that from your book, Marvin? Oh no.
Oh,
Me?
No, Marvin.
Oh,
Marvin.
Oh no, yeah. So I mean, it's something that I've been looking at. So we may do it. I do have someone online to like a prop master to do that kind of stuff. I've been thinking about doing swords to guns, all kind of stuff. You know me. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it all. I don't care. Can we pop up Damien's last thing about the Thunderlings real quick? I'm gonna address that one.
If you want, bring it up, share it, and I'll put it up.
But no, it's a question. It's a comment he made.
Who made?
Yeah.
Where's it? Who made the comment?
Damien
Walburn.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Damien, what's up, dude?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So
75, right?
That's second tier market. Those figures are $40 on the Kickstarter.
Correct. And that's a different buck, right? So there's a thin frame and there's the Muckbound frame. The original ones, the Smurf style elves, those were going for $25.
Yep.
At cons and on the website.
Right. So what's happening is that those stores, instead of going directly to them to do retail, they're buying those from the Kickstarter and then marking them up.
Yeah. Some of them. There's one, and I don't want to say who. I don't want to blow up the spot for anybody, but there is one major online retailer that does buy into action figure Kickstarters to get a significant, to get a exclusive made just for them.
Yes. So I'll drop that Kickstarter into the chat if people want to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chatter in the chat today, so I'm missing a whole bunch.
I love that. People are watching us.
Yeah.
They're seeing my sexy ass show up on the baby.
Yeah, give that profile, the one that they always want to show up for. That profile is like,
yeah,
and I think Damien did make a comment earlier about. Oh no, Carlos made a comment about action figures being too expensive.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah.
Merch outside of comics don't sell anymore for me. Well, he does preface it with, for me, T-shirts used to sell more than comics, but over the last 5 years, the button stickers and shirts don't sell anymore. Comics do. Toys too expensive to make.
Watch my slide. Watch in 6 months. Watch.
Now, Marvin, is it a 6-inch or the?
We're doing both.
So you're doing 3 3/4 and 6 inches?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I originally wanted to do the line in 3-inch, and then everybody started doing 6-inch, and it blew up the spot. The only manufacturers right now that are really hitting 3-inch hard is Haya and Joy Toy, and there's that one more. The ones that did the Larry Hama figure.
Fresh Monkey Fiction.
Yeah. Everybody else has moved on to the 6-inch.
Yep.
So Marvin, is this your Kickstarter, Marvin? Sorry,
that is the Kickstarter for the plunder links.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I can put mine in there too, since you asked. But we're not launching until 4/20.
Get them to sign up.
Yeah, we're at 101 right now, so we could always use some more signups on that.
Nice. And David and Travis, how many more days do you guys got in your campaign?
5 days left.
Okay, and you guys are funded?
Yeah, we're at about 105%.
Nice.
Finish line. That's the main thing.
Nice.
And can I just pause for just for like 2 seconds? Like, holy smokes! I was a little bit pessimistic when we first started, and when I say a little bit, Dave's grin says it all. I didn't really think, like we've been doing this since we were little kids. We did this as little kids, and he called me like, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
Over
He's
a
like,
year
hey,
ago.
let's write another comic, and I'm like, yeah, okay. The fact that it funded it, I'm still just really, really high on that.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good.
Enjoy it because once you guys start to fulfill the orders, that's where the headaches.
Oh, we will.
No, but that's the true sense of accomplishments once they fulfill in other people's hands and they start communicating back to you. It's like, hey, I got it, and I like it. You got to have another sense of accomplishment.
That's going to be a whole nother high when I start hearing fans. Like I've never had a fan before. What's a fan?
Oh, they're coming. Don't worry about it.
Randy, JD, and I have something in the works as well based on
Rosamund.
Scott Rosamund.
By God. Son of a.
Did I say something wrong?
Hey, Scott.
That must have been.
Is there a language restriction on this fucking thing, or do we have to?
There's always a fucking language restriction.
Okay, I didn't think so. I figure if Randy's on here, it can't be too restricted.
There you go.
No. We give no fucks on this one.
Awesome.
So what's up, Scott?
How are every one of you sons of bitches doing?
Fucking awesome.
Great.
Fucking awesome.
good.
Hey, watch your language.
I had some shits, but other than that, I'm good.
Yep. Dan. So Scott, nice to meet you. Introduce yourself. Sorry, I kept sending you the wrong link.
That's quite all right. I'm used to being sent to my room, so you're fine. You're in the same category as my mother. So
There you go.
Scott Roseman here, longtime comic pro. Oh my God, friend of Randy Zimmerman. Don't hold it against me.
Don't hold it.
I know Daphne, of course, and if she's listening, Hello, Daphne. And I know some of you guys don't. I'm not sure, but did work for Marvel, DC, Archie, Warner Brothers, DreamWorks, blah 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 blah.
Nice.
So that's where I'm at, and
Basic comics whore.
basic a comic whore of the highest order.
Yes,
I found it.
I mean that only in the nicest of
I
ways.
get around.
And I'll have you, and please, it's Mr. Comics Whore.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Nice. Nice.
comics
Wait, so
gigolo.
we have 2 prostitutes now?
Prostitutes, hoes.
Yes.
Gotta make that money. Gotta make that money.
And what else?
And an
Two
attack
prostitutes, a
helicopter.
stripper,
And
and an
an
attack helicopter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody said they were a stripper in here a little bit ago. I'm oh, okay.
Whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
I want you to know something. I got ones.
That's great. I only
Make it rain.
got a quarter a peak, baby.
Make
Make
it
it
rain.
rain.
Mhm.
I have a couple left over from Randy and I are doing a little.
No, we don't need to know that.
It's been a long time. It's
Oh,
been a long
boy.
time. 2 lifetimes ago for me. So.
There you go.
So, you guys go ahead and keep continuing. I'm going to break in when I think it's the right time to ruin everything.
Oh, we ask you. We yeah.
Yeah.
They ask you to answer.
Yeah.
I'm
Trust me,
not-
I will get to you.
Oh, you'll get to me.
I
Oh,
will get to you, sir. Yes. I
oh,
will.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you'll get me. Oh, okay.
No.
I'm
I will
glad.
get to
All
you.
right, you'll get to me. All right.
No. I don't know. Let's it's taken a long time to ask these damn questions. So I'll just do this one. Since we've had so many serious subjects, we'll go on something real light. What's your favorite written work in comics or fiction?
Oh, don't ask us to narrow it down to one.
No, just the one.
That's
Just the
not
one.
good.
What's your favorite? What's the thing you read the most? Right?
Wait, you mean keep reading it repeatedly?
Yeah. What's that thing you go back to?
Are we talking we're talking about one solitary work, or like
It can be a series. It could be a book. Listen, I'll even take a TV show. What's the TV show you watch the most? What's the movie you go watch the most? What's the one you go watch the most?
Ink magazine? No, sorry.
No, well, we weren't up to you. All right,
Motherfucker.
so relax. It's Marvin. Marvin is up.
All right, so if we're going to go movies, I'm going to go the Wizard of Oz, the classic, and not for why you think. It's because over the years I've devised this little theme that Glinda was the villain of that story.
Ah,
So let's see how things played out. I believe that she directed that house to fall on to the witch. She then set Dorothy up by putting those shoes on her, making her a target. Told her to go see the wizard, who she knew had no ability to do anything. And then told her when it was all over with, hey, what are you talking about? You had the ability to go home the whole time. And then watch the wizard leave, watch Dorothy leave, and then feel the power vacuum in Oz.
Machiavellian.
So,
Okay.
so you're saying those red slippers was the first GPS unit, right? Is that what you're saying?
Like, why wouldn't you tell her that right at the beginning when she had the shoes on that, hey, go home now? No, you wait till she defeats her major villain, gets rid of her other contest or other competition, and then tells her, hey, you can go home anytime you want. Yeah, just click your heels together. Get out of here.
One word answer. Bitch.
And then there's the other part of that is that the social commentary in that when the part of the movie when they're going to kill the witch and you give the scarecrow a gun. So you're saying that the guy with no brains has a gun.
That's just social commentary.
Yeah. In 1939. This is 1939, right?
Yeah.
Guy with the brains has the gun.
He just perverted the whole play adaptation of Wicked for me
Yeah.
There you go.
because of that take.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen Wicked. It was such a.
Apparently they're
It's
still
great
making the
because,
movie's
like,
still coming.
oh,
Wicked, they're
really?
still making the movies. Apparently, one of these days. So
Because it
Well,
makes it seem like so the West was pretty much going to be the most beautiful witch, even though Linda was outwardly beautiful.
yes,
The sister was more inwardly beautiful and intelligent and had all this other stuff going. So therefore, it's like, oh yeah, you got to go.
yeah.
So I'm going to get you the Wizard of Oz, no matter how much you do what you do in this play.
Right.
Wizard of Oz, you're going to get your uppings, you get your comeuppance.
Nice. Dave, what do you got? What's your favorite work?
It's hard to pick the whole. It's pretty broad, but pretty much from when Chris Claremont, from the time he started writing X-Men, so from like Giant Size, I know he didn't write that, but that time up until about the time he left, I've read not that whole series over and over again, but bits and pieces of that multiple times. It's probably still my all-time favorite comic book work. Just everything, all those different crossovers in there, Phoenix Saga, Inferno. I'm missing some, but those are the first two that come to mind. But that's just that's what got me into comics was that series, everything around that era. So that's definitely my favorite.
So everything from like issue 100 to like
about 3
or something like that.
Because it was Jim Lee. He switched over to Jim Lee series, the 91 series, and him and Jim Lee worked together for 3 issues, and then all of a sudden they pushed him out. And
do you know why he left?
Yeah, did you watch the documentary on that? Yeah.
He wanted Wolverine out of the picture. Marvel was like,
Yep.
This one right here.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Was that all Claremont and Byrne?
Claremont and Jim Lee and Silvestri.
Oh,
okay.
After
that's
Byrne.
That's the 90s run when they restarted with the second series.
Minus the new run, the X-Men. He did 12, I think.
There was a period there where Claremont was going off in these really wild mindfuck stories. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, they weren't all
captivating as hell, but man, oh man,
That was towards the end of the run.
Yeah, geez, I mean, beautiful. God, Silvestri was never better on some of that artwork, and
I love Silvestri.
Tom Orchikowski's lettering was just
And Tom was on that book forever.
Oh,
he was
Tom,
on that book for a long. They kept him on that book for a long time. He was really good on it.
Yeah, I think you could count on one hand how many issues Tom didn't letter.
Yeah. Yep.
And between him and Lewis Bullhouse, they just they were lettering machines. All still done by hand back at that point.
Pure art form. Yeah.
I don't have those novels handy. I got the 3 Claremont novels that he written for the X-Men. I don't have those handy, so I have to really dig for them. And it's like, forget about it.
All right, cool. Travis, what do you got?
Do we got to hear from Travis now?
I know, right? What a pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass.
All right, I'm fine. That's all right. Go ahead, Travis. Go ahead.
No, you said favorite work of all time, and you're talking about not just necessarily comics. And I really hate that this just won as many awards as it did in the film, because if it hadn't been done on film, I wouldn't look like such a cheeseball right now. But Dune, absolutely Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune. I've read through probably the entire series, the first 3 books, probably 6 or 7 times. And then everything after that, I've read at least once. They get a little wonkers.
They get a little bonkers, yes, they do.
But man, the first, I'll even give it to the first 3 books in Dune. They're my favorite thing ever written. It was just, it was so creative, and it drew everything back to Earth before. I mean, the plot takes place in year 10,000, but everything that happened in that book was apparently Frank Herbert's take on what happens to humans after they travel out into outer space. And the crazy like ability to see the future, the superpowers that came involved with it, while they were low key, like the voice and prescience and all that stuff. You're talking about. I don't know. It was just a masterpiece to me. I'm still rereading the first one. I think I'm on my 7th time now.
Wow.
Nice. Ozzy, what do you got?
Well, I'm torn between. I go between the Claremont and Jim Lee run, the new one, the 1 through 12, and the Lost Boys, because I was in high school and I started drawing a graphic novel and based on that movie. So I used to watch it like every day over and over and over until I never finished the graphic novel, but I watched it like hundreds of times, and I actually bought the movie again because I wanted it so much.
Wow.
And it was a VHS. And
you're talking the original Lost Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, with Keith Sutherland.
Yeah, Keith Sutherland and Jason Patrick. Yeah. So I watched it so much, and it was my favorite during that time. But then I watched all the Jim Lee stuff like religiously every day, like for the longest time, and I still do sometimes. So it's hard to pick.
Well, maybe one day you can get that license and you can finish up that graphic novel.
Yeah.
I actually want to do a story about the grandpa.
With the werewolves.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. No.
It's sort of werewolves and vampires. Yeah. A lot of. He was a hunter, like a monster hunter, or something like that.
Going to go like the underworld route, the series of movies with along that line a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Did you?
Oh God, those movies are just great.
Yeah.
See, Kate Beckinsale released information recently about there's going to be a Blade crossover with Underworld and.
No way.
God,
that'd be awesome.
Kate Beckinsale. Oh. In black tight latex. Oh my God.
Nice. Randy, what do you got?
Don't tie me down to just one.
That's
That's all I gotta say, because there really isn't one. Eisner Spirits, TV Babylon 5 for me is watchable over and over again. There was my very favorite of all time TV series, which I can't find anywhere, was a show that ran on NBC a few years back called Journeyman. That was about a guy that was slingshotted back in time to fix stuff. And that was so fascinating to me. I when it was on, I think it was on Amazon last, and the guy who created it hates NBC and kind of yanked his portion of the rights away, and it hasn't been around anywhere since. But it was 13 episodes that were incredibly tight storytelling, just great characterization, and a nice Journeyman. It's a nice fluid movement. This guy suddenly has a headache and he's back in time, and he can't fathom why. He gets involved in a couple of situations, then he gets yanked back up to where he was, and because this guy's got a checkered past as a gambler and a drinker, they thought he went off on a bender. And he tries to tell his wife that he actually went back in time. She thinks he's a loon. He tries to tell his brother, he thinks he's a loon. And they're all watching him, and he ends up wrecking his car because he gets pulled back one time while he's driving, and all of this other crazy stuff starts happening. And then he figures out that he had a fiance that disappeared, and she was being yanked back and forth in time, only she was being yanked from the past to the future. And 13 episodes of just really the tightest TV scripting I've ever seen, with a storyline and development that was just really well done. And the way it ends is they end up running across a guy who went crazy because he kept getting yanked back and forth in time. And he tells him basically the secret about all of this. And then at the very end, because while the show was going on, they got involved in a writer's strike, and the show got moved around in time slots a lot and never had a solid audience when it was first out. the very end of the last episode loops around to the front in such an ingenious way that it just caps the whole series for me. But anyway, other than that, movies, anything Bogart, I'll sit and watch. Marx Brothers, I'll sit and watch. Just there's just so much really great stuff. Reading wise, usually the most scrappiest pulp novel that you can imagine. Burroughs, give me a Shadow book, give me a Spider. Doc Savage pulp novel. Or Howard. I'll read all day.
I thought it was just one.
I know you can't just do one. There's just so much good stuff out there to swallow. And Dune. What an example of world building.
Jay, you can't pin down Randy.
Yeah,
I know. I'm trying. You can't do it.
And Marvin, if you've only watched the Oz movie, you need to sit and read the Bowen books because sometimes they get pretty deep. And they're very interesting, especially if you look back at the time period that he wrote them on. Because after the first one, he was bored. He said everything that he wanted to say with the first one, and the fans kept writing him and begging him, and he got mail, bags and bags of mail. So when he sat down and wrote the second one is more genius than the first. And it only uses the Scarecrow and Tin Woodsman from the original book and Glinda.
Yeah.
But it's just fascinating reading. There's so much great stuff out there. I'm sorry. It just you can't tie me down to just one because Babylon 5 pops up on HBO Max. You got to sit there and watch it all over again. You know,
True. I did that months ago.
Yeah. Did you zoom right through it?
No. Well, in a few weeks, about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. It takes a little bit, but it's 5 seasons. But that's also a really tight story and great characterization. And I learned a lot about writing from following Babylon 5 when it was first out and reading all of the notes that Straczynski made online off of it. I did this for this character. The characters wear this for that reason, and just the thinking behind the process it fascinated the hell out of me. I went out and ended up buying his script writing books, and then went out and bought a copy of the original script for the pilot and had him sign it, much to his chagrin, because nobody was supposed to have a copy of that outside of the set. So he wrote a real nasty note on the inside front cover, which I cherish to this day.
That's awesome.
You know, this is Randy's copy of the script. No one will read this but Randy, you know, that kind of thing. And then signed it J. Michael Straczynski.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's personal favorite.
So, Scott,
don't tie me down to one. Yeah. It doesn't happen.
Scott, what do you got? What's your favorite go-to?
Are we gonna skip over Joe?
Joe, no, I'm a co-host, so I go last. I kind of go last.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I tell you what. First of all, I'm really disappointed because I'm sure that Randy would have said anything Scott Roseman's ever done, my favorite. I would thought he would have said that, but
that too, yeah. And there's so many. There's so many.
None of you other sons of bitches listed me either. Yeah, I'm really
stop cussing at us.
Because I have made my graft payments every single month to every one of you guys, and I get nothing.
Not me. I'm still waiting for that first check, baby.
Well, Jay, I meant for yours to bounce, so I'm not surprised.
Lost in the mail.
That's okay.
Oh, don't say it. No, I'm sorry, Jay. I forgot you were a mailman.
Thanks, Randy.
Okay, I'm a little bit in Randy's camp. Can't really nail it to one, but I'll give you a short list of some of my favorites of all time. Okay.
Cool.
TV shows, the original Trek. Just loved it. Just the whole chemistry between the actors and how incredibly tight and almost flawless Shatner delivered the persona of Captain Kirk according to what Roddenberry wanted to see happen. Mm-hmm. And he's just one of the great leader characters in all of TV. I mean, I just loved it. And Nimoy and all those other guys, they just did phenomenal work. Okay, so there's that. Second TV show, and this is going to be weird. I'm going to be digging into some memory banks here. There was a TV show on in the 70s called The Men. It had, and what it was an anthology series. It alternated between 3 different characters every third week. Robert Conrad was one of them. Lawrence Luckinbill was the second. I can't remember who played the third. But I love that show for one reason only. the absolute kick-ass Isaac Hayes theme for that show. One of the greatest orchestral funk fusion themes. I mean, it's just unbelievably cool. I mean, I couldn't believe they actually put it on the radio. I would stop everything and just listen to the radio if I'd heard the theme come on. If you don't know this, if I'm talking out of my ass to you guys, Google that music. The theme from The Men by Isaac Hayes. Oh my God, you will just lose your freaking mind. It's awesome. Oh my God, it's good. Okay. The other thing is in comics, and when you ask this question, JD, I couldn't believe this popped out of my little pea brain here. There was an issue of the Incredible Hulk that Harlan Ellison wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what, and it wasn't a particular special. It was just one of the many numbers of the Hulk issues. And it was a story about the Hulk being enslaved by these space traders. And they were so powerful they could put Hulk in these unbreakable chains. And he was literally rowing this space galleon with a bunch of other huge, powerful alien monsters. And I remember reading that when I was a kid. And I didn't know who Harlan Ellison was from Adam. But, God, I remember reading that thinking, this is a good comic. Oh, my God, this is written so well. And somehow I knew I was reading something really, really special. It was a lot different than Stan Lee's usual bombastic, hyperbole. But it was just fascinating. And then as I got older and realized I got to know who Harlan was and about him and stuff, I realized, Jesus, that was an amazing thing. I don't know who convinced Harlan to write that, but it was just awesome. Awesome. And in terms of movies, let's see. Enter the Dragon. I love that. That was one of my favorite films. And the probably the Excalibur that John
1980.
Who's Borman?
Borman.
Yeah, I think it was Bowen. Yeah,
that was great.
Helen Mirren was in that.
Yes,
sir.
Oh,
yes, sir.
And
say that again. Say that one more time, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Helen Mirren was in that.
Boy,
yes.
I'm telling you, boy.
Yes.
And he's that use of that use of the choral, the chorus hymnal that they used as the knights came back to life and Arthur realized his connection to the land and all that. Oh my God. Just sends chills up your spine. And I will cut it off right there because God knows you set me on the chatty Cathy path and I'll never get off of it.
Yeah. You can get worse than me.
Joe.
Yes.
What do you got?
Well, I'm not going to talk about the comic aspect because I get asked that and I've been answering that too often. So I'm going to go a different route here. I'm going to show you what I would normally watch on a consistent basis if what's left up to me and my devices.
It better not be the Kardashians. Go ahead.
No, Lupin the Third. Anything Lupin the Third, whether it be the TV series. Yes, Lupin the Third.
Nice.
Lupin the Third. Whether it be the TV series. It's like I don't even have all the different volumes of the TV series as of yet. Or the actual OAB movies.
Nice.
I mean,
hey, Joe, can you stop for 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Could you move those faster across the screen? Because then I'm
not that. That's good. We're good. We're good. You got it.
I think so.
Was it on cue? Okay. Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
Slow. Nice.
There we go.
Here you
go.
This one's crazy. And
I'm like,
to me, like the OAB movies and the TV series, it's like it's nothing that I have ever watched that comes to the same quality of each thing with its own unique case type deal or its own unique score in as far as Lupin the Third is concerned, as far as his mythology, and then to watch how Netflix changed it around with the live action one where it has nothing to do with this Lupin at all. It took the mythology that comes from his grandfather, his grandfather. It took the mythology from his grandfather and it did something uniquely different with it, and it fits in this mold.
Huh.
So anything that's like Lupin or Lupin the Third, I'm on it.
It's a great. I mean, the fan following for Lupin is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's huge.
that is true. Mr. Rosario, what do you got?
I'm going to narrow it down to just one. Fuck all of you.
No,
And that's why you're.
I'm not really sure that was called for. I mean,
Let me take another swig here while I gotta moisten my lips here.
well, that's an image
No,
on
but
the record.
whenever I have those long nights and I can't sleep, I'm always popping in Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, and it's informed so many things that we've done. You know, from sci-fi to westerns to, I mean, comic books. The whole 17 member is based on that. You know, I got the Criterion edition where they even have the 15 minutes of intermission running for 15 minutes. Not that it's just a gap that you switch over. And I'm like, I fucking love that. I can watch it and discover something new every time. You know, I mean, it's masterclass in characterization. It really is. How everyone interacts with everybody else.
It's fucking Kurosawa. How could you not?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And it's like, you know, how many times have I seen something and I didn't know it went back to this. I remember as a kid watching some Hercules, Seven Samurai thing where Lou Ferrigno was Hercules and it was the 7 people defending a town, but it was, you know, during the Greek-Roman era. And I'm just like, this is so fucking cool. And it just all traces back to this, you know. It's everything comes back to that. And you know, I don't have time to watch all these different series. I wish I did, you know. So when I just got free time, I'll pop that bad boy in and, you know, ride it into my back.
Jay, that wasn't fair. That was not fair at all. I mean, who doesn't love the Seven Samurai? I mean,
know, dude.
Oh, come on.
It's awesome.
Made us all look like chumps.
You can watch everything that has been framed off of that and see how those archetypes operate differently, you know, in other genres, right? In westerns, the teacher student dynamic it was different from the original Magnificent Seven to the last one with Denzel Washington. You know, one thing that's always been consistent though is why do they always make the husky guy the one that eats and is always kind to the kids? You know, in every form, every time it's been remade, that husky guy is always the fat one that plays around with the kids, and it's just
because he has candy on him.
What the hell has he got going for him?
Yeah. So it's like that's my go-to. But when it comes to comics, I'm a John Byrne mark. I really am. You know, everything from like I'll collect his Alpha Flight run. I'll collect his Namor run, the West Coast Avengers run, because for some reason those are always in the single dollar bins. You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, it's there. You know, his little time on the Avengers or Captain America. It's just like, oh, man. And
I'm about to do you a solid, JD. I'm about to do you a solid.
What's up?
How about his Hulk?
Is Joel going off the drinking glass? We're going to have to wait for him to finish, you know. All right.
Yeah.
He's doing him a solid, so he'll be back as soon as the paperwork's done.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I mean, look, just today I picked up some.
Oh, there we are.
Like Fantastic Four.
Oh,
yeah.
Burn Fantastic Four.
One of my favorites.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with
you. Joe, can we say pandering? Come on, Joe.
I'm with you on that, kid.
Yeah, that's why I say I know you solid because you know he did my favorite Fantastic Four run.
Gotcha.
Which was that?
Yeah. I don't care if he was a Marvel shill. I don't. You know, I'm more.
You know, I've never understood that. I mean, I know that there was that time when everybody thought he was really too much of a suck up to Marvel, but I just thought, well, he's a guy that likes his job. He's just gonna
he was a company man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So was my father-in-law, but nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
he worked at DC for quite a while and worked on independent stuff for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
He's still doing stuff out of his house online. So.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Oh,
He's continuing his own X-Men run.
Yeah.
Fuck for that.
It's the best stuff he's ever done.
Oh, it's amazing.
Now,
By far, yeah. It's beautiful work.
Yeah.
Oh, damn question. Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. There it is.
What?
Really?
Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. Yeah. That's the book that I probably read the most. Behind that one would be Sandman, and it may be Planetary by Warren Ellis. So,
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Miller's early Daredevil was just tremendous. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You know, it doesn't hold the same impact for me that it
yeah,
does.
you can just quiet that noise. Thank you.
I'm not.
Everybody has their.
Hey, shut the hell up!
It at all. You know what I mean? It's not my sought after work. It's not. Why can't we have this? You know what I mean? It's
All right.
Well, Frank Miller's early run on Daredevil. I mean, the guy was full of piss and vinegar, and it showed on every page he drew.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
just really, really hungry back then.
I'd rather. I hate to say it. I'd rather pick up Greenwald's Squadron Supreme run than Miller's Daredevil run.
Wow.
All right. All right. You know what?
Dude,
He's already drunk.
All right.
Take it
All
out.
right.
Okay. We're gonna.
All right. You're
All right.
already on our shit list, Jay. Don't make it any worse.
All right. Travis.
Broken Trident. Say it.
Yes.
Wow, who just got funded?
Uh-huh. So yeah. So guys, talk to me. Let us know about Broken Trident.
I guess since I've always relied on Dave to just go ahead and do the pitching part, I'm going to jump in here.
I was going to ask you to do that anyway, so I'm glad you said that.
So Broken Trident, what we're trying to do here is it's sort of we talked about Pirates of the Dark Water and one of these other
Nice.
we did. And I wouldn't say it's influenced by that so much because I just recently rewatched Pirates of the Dark Water and I couldn't remember a lick of it. But after seeing that again, it's very high seas adventure, lots of swashbuckling action. There's actually a bit of a mystery brought into the beginning of the comic that you don't quite figure out by the end of issue 1. We don't know when it's going to be figured out, but mystery, and I think the biggest thing that we're trying to focus on is character-driven story. We're trying to build these characters up. It's part of a bigger maxi series, so this first series is just going to be, issues 1 through 4, issues 1 through 5, but we're looking at least another 3 to 4 mini series to go in before the entire maxi series is finished. We've drawn a lot of influence from our artists as well, who are our chief artist is Eiler Azisano, and Oliver Yilo is his sort of assistant, but they're kind of tag teaming it. They have a lot of experience publishing manga. They haven't done a whole lot with Western comics, so what we're seeing come out of this is sort of a hybrid. And as a personal fan of manga and anime, I couldn't feel more privileged.
That is beautiful.
The work that's being done here, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, he did some really nice work.
Wow.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg, and
Looks amazing.
like I said earlier in the show, I'm still just riding the high that it got funded, and when you see art like that, of course it got funded. But I can't wait till everybody can actually read what we've been putting on the paper.
Oh, that is really nice. Jesus.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like
Dave, you got anything to add?
I mean, Travis covered a bunch of it. Really good job, Travis.
Thanks, bud.
His first pitch.
I'm learning.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the couple things we've talked about before about it, last time we were with JD, even the main character, Janor, is one that I came up with for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And that's actually how I met the artist. Was I commissioned just one picture of that character to be drawn just for our campaign, which we were running on YouTube at the time too.
Which character was that?
Janor, the kind of purplish pink skin one right there.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep. And then all the while that I was making this, Travis had been creating this other character, Zadrin, the blue one, and we both created these characters that were essentially of the same race, without knowing the other one was doing it. So then a year ago or so, when I asked Travis if he wanted to do this comic, and we finally started sitting down and writing stuff, I showed him what I had, and his eyes got so big, he was like, what? Like, I have something that will fit perfectly with this. And he showed me his character, and it immediately just meshed. Like, they worked so well together.
Nice.
Very cool. That's very cool.
This is the first time I know it. It's you have a free download, so someone can people can download.
You can download it's the first 9 pages, I believe.
Pages.
All right, cool.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
and how much is it retailing for?
Well, we shouldn't say retailing, but what's it going for on Kickstarter?
I mean, I think we have a cover price on it for like when we put it into shops of $4.99, but the it's on Kickstarter right now. But
the physical copy on Kickstarter is $15.
Yeah.
But with that physical copy, just like every other Kickstarter, you're looking at a lot of other stretch rewards, little bonuses.
Making it all in
thing.
Right?
Yeah. Also, you're
all the
actually helping us fund like the beginning of this. So
that cover right there, if you stop on that one, we both just lost it when he sent us that's our variant, our same artist. When they sent us that one, I'm gonna like print that out, I think, and put it.
And who's the artist? And who did this one?
So the same artist, our main artist, did this cover. Eiler Azazana, I believe with help from Oliver Yellow. They're kind of tag teaming the art.
Nice, very.
Awesome.
And then next cover, you probably recognize what that's paying homage to.
The Wolverine, the Frank Miller Wolverine.
Yep. And so
I love that.
And our local comic book store owner actually drew that.
Nice.
And then our artist made it digital because the local comic store owner did it all on pen and paper. And then he turned it digital for us.
Wow.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when you scroll down here, just one more thing. When you get to our tchotchkes, we were talking about that earlier, and there's a Lego minifigure that comes up there. We do have plans to release a Lego minifigure. I think we're kind of going back and forth on this, but I think it'll be with every issue. But eventually, there will be the whole cast in Lego minifigures, so it's going to be kind of a collectible item. Just to go ahead and pitch the tchotchkes.
Nice. I like the figure. Looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's very.
How did you get that? How did you get that done?
So actually, there's a guy, another Kickstarter creator that I know, Rob Maltari, does the Nightwolf series on Kickstarter, and he has Lego minifigures for his campaigns. And I just messaged him, and he sent me the link to Saber Scorpion. You can see the logo right there. And he makes custom Lego minifigures, and on the website you can just go on and like design, like pick your head and legs and blah blah blah. But if you message him directly, he'll actually design the specific character for you. So I sent him the images of Janor, and he sent me back proofs of it's essentially stickers that go on the chest, and that little shoulder spaldron is like a harder sticker that just sticks off the chest and everything. And
that's awesome.
And yes, Scott, you weren't here when I have the physical one in my hand. I don't think you were on the stream yet when I held it up, but
nice.
Yeah, it looks great.
That's pretty cool.
That's really nice.
That's pretty nice.
It's very cool.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna hold on. There we go. We're back to normal. I'm gonna bring up next. Don't mind me. I need to start getting someone to do this stuff for me.
Yeah, you need a wrench to start blocking Naked HD.
There is a rule. But I think that's on your channel that's happening, not on the other one.
Yeah, I think that is on my channel. They just like my channel for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, because you're adorable, JD. Come on.
It must be. It must be. Yeah. So here we go, Mr. Wynn. Talk to us about the image.
So this is going to be the first 4 issues in trade format. Currently, it's over 130 pages. So I'm going to sneak in some sneak previews, some of the other stuff that's coming up later in the year and the next year. So if you don't know what the story of the Edge is, it's a drug that grant special abilities, but it can either kill you or drive you crazy. So we've got our lead, air quote, bad guy, Revenant, out in the world, infected with the Edge. And we've got a strike team that's coming to take him out. So they're not really concerned about him telling anybody because he's a jerk. They're worried about someone getting a hold of him and getting out his blood.
All right, cool. Now, so if you don't mind me asking, when are you planning on launching?
So we are launching on 420 because the Edge is a drug and 420 is about drugs, and I just couldn't pass it up.
Ah, nice.
Nice. All right, cool.
So smoke them if you got them on 420 and come back to pledge for the Edge.
Now, what does this drug do? It either makes you what now?
It grants special abilities at either your cost of your life, your sanity, or both.
So it's like my wife Susie.
Well, I haven't met your wife, but I'm sure she's a lovely person.
Man, you
Oh,
sold
very
me
nice, Marvin. Very nice. I wish I would have learned to talk like that before, that one time.
So it's basically it's sometimes it's a ticking clock. So the more you use it, the more it infects you. So
It's my wife Susie all over again. That's awesome.
So there's a lot of nuance, a lot of different things going on. Like our character here, you see the character opening the portal. Her portals allow her to see a little bit into the future. It's also used it for stepping, so you can walk through the portal and appear somewhere else. But the negative on that is that she's been opening those portals since she was 8 years old, and some of them aren't closed. So where she's from, it's outside of the normal time stream. So it's 12 hours ahead of the rest of the time in the area. So it's noon, and then all of a sudden it's midnight.
Cool.
So it's just that a lot of consequences to these abilities.
You got a backer right here. That's definitely going to the top of my list. That looks great.
Oh God, it looks awesome.
So
Can we get any closer
actually,
to the? I'm sorry. Could we get any closer to this artwork?
Yeah, please.
I can share the folder that it's.
Yeah, you can. If you can, I want to stop this, and then if you could pull up a folder, or you can share a screen with me, I'll pull it up.
Sure, I will.
Because that art looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm on my. Yeah, this will do. So, do you want me to share or?
Yeah, share it, and I'll pull it up.
Sure. Okay.
Is that going to happen today? Or?
There it is. All right. Well, you got to pull up the image.
Yeah.
Which one
There we go.
Yeah. You're in the control, Marvin.
I'm in control.
You're in control.
He has the power. Oh,
Nice.
Wow.
very good. Wow.
The
So
color.
who's the artist on that?
So this are our regular series artist, Mark Louis Vukukiat,
Nice.
and the colors were done by Luis Anteno Delgado. He usually does Ghostbusters for IDW.
Oh, cool.
Oh. Has a kind of a vibe of Joe. Shit, what's his name?
Maduria.
Yeah, Maduria. Yeah, has a little bit of his
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like a love letter back to the '90s of those books that I really enjoyed back then. So the Wildcats and the X-Men and Stormwatch. So we're pulling that energy.
Yeah, I was thinking Battle Chasers says
Yes.
Maduria's Battle Chasers.
I was gonna say it reminded me of Teen Titans a little bit too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That 90s style is making that comeback right now. That's trending.
Yeah.
Well,
I was going to say, I'm glad we got a close up with this because the redheaded gal with the purple glow, at the small thumbnail size, I thought she had an amputated arm, but the foreshortening is just that's her hand.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, what's with the amputated arm or the hand? Or what? It's just the way her hand is angled. That's beautiful.
Right. So yeah, so our lead character, Revenant, can duplicate himself from a single drop of blood.
Who's the lead character? Which one?
Revenant. So he's the one that's duplicated all over the place. So he can make duplicates like Multiple Man.
Oh, the one with the blue glow around him. Is that him?
Well, in the black.
No,
So this character here.
The one in the black and silver that's actually fighting about 6 different people in that and holding the one guy in blue.
Okay, and he's got the gray shoulder pads on the
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And he's got pouches.
Oh,
Is there anything in them?
That's very Rob Liefeld like.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta have pouches. But he uses the pouches. They're not just there for decoration.
Unlike Cable, like
Right.
created.
Yeah. Pouches and with the shoulder pads.
Nice.
Wow. Oh, geez, he's getting his head blown off in that one. Oh my God.
Well, he's getting his head blown off a couple times in there.
Yeah.
So you got this whole entire being taking one guy's head off, another guy, and then this other guy's arm.
Wow. It's pretty good. Okay, so I'm sure there's stories behind these other characters with the different colors, the gold and the purple and the chick with the gun and all that.
Right. So the way we do it in the story is that we don't tackle origins until it makes sense in the story. So it's not just I'm going to throw all their origins at you in issue 1. It's going to be as the story progresses and it like segues from the past into the present, into the future.
Awesome.
So at the beginning of issue 2 with our character here, Bolt, we show a car accident with his parents that activated his powers. So he was in a car accident with his parents, and he was actually, I think we set it at 2 hours in the car with their dead bodies, and this would set off his powers.
All right, cool.
That's what happened to me, except that was when puberty hit.
I mean, but you think it like that. That's a defining moment, and it's kind of like puberty.
Is that the character that earlier you mentioned didn't want to fight crime anymore?
That's a different character. So
okay.
Let's jump back real quick. So we do have a character roster here, and this one's a little smaller. So it's this character here. We call him Sigma.
Cool.
And his thing is a little different. So I give a little bit. So he, in the world that he lives on, he's pretty much defeated all of the villains, which cost him his relationships and his family. And what ends up happening is his, I want to say, kind of future self comes knocking on his door, telling him he needs to be a hero again. But it turns out that his future self is a villain.
Oh, I hate that when that happens. And this whole big huge group shot is all of that's all the supporting characters or all the
right. So these are all the characters that will appear in the book up until I believe issue 17, because that's where we're at right now on issue 17.
Those are all heroes, or is that a mix of heroes and villains?
It's pretty much right down the middle with the line of who the heroes are.
Oh, okay.
So here will be
You're on issue 17 right now?
Yes.
Okay, and this Kickstarter is for which?
The trade for the first 4 issues. So the first 4 issues are what we're kind of re-releasing because of outside things that are out of our control.
Gotcha.
So we are right now finishing up issue 17, and then we're working on 3 one-shots.
Wow.
Oh.
Now, have all these issues just been released digitally, or do you have them in hard copies?
They're physical copies. So I've got physical copies of issue 1 and 2 up on the store. Issue 3 and 4 are being shipped to me soon. And that's so what I was trying to do was I wanted to have everything available on the Kickstarter before we launch the Kickstarter. So I'll have all the trading cards, the stickers. We're actually doing bags of coffee with Comics on Coffee. So we're doing an Edge blend of coffee for the Kickstarter.
But you've got up to issue 17 finished and completed as
issue 17 is on the final leg of pencils.
That's a lot of content. How long have you been doing this?
Since 2002-ish.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been working with Mark this whole time. Like we've been working together since 2002.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's impressive. That's really applause worthy. That's amazing.
For
So
sure.
this is the Revenant character,
Oh, cool.
That's great.
and then this is most of our villains here.
Wow.
Nice.
Very well done.
Yeah.
And you see this character's her costume is actually a living creature.
Oh, that's really
Which one?
cool.
This here.
The redheaded one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually a dormant alien creature that she wears as a costume.
Oh, her costume is the alien creature.
Yep.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Does
Right.
it ever go to sleep and like drop away and she's totally nude or anything? Is that?
Well, it is asleep. It's dormant.
Oh, it's dormant. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So will we ever have it fall off her and she'll be completely nude? Is that
So
special
let's
perk,
just say this: that
some reward backer?
when we were originally working on this character Revenant, he was nude when he did the Duke thing.
Oh, he
And
was nude.
we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to cover him in panels, so we wouldn't show any nudity. And
Was he nude in that pose?
this pose here, yes.
I'm only asking for Jay. Because I'm sure.
Now you know why. Now you know the inspiration, since I was a stripper, where he got the idea from. Hello.
And we had to
Come on,
continuously find ways to cover up his nudity. So, like I say, is that since we've been working on this so long, that we've kind of opened up the indie sphere of characters, and you may recognize this character here, who's being watched by one of our characters.
Yes.
So we got a character out there in the indie sphere that's watching other characters.
Ah, cool.
And they're nude.
So
Well, I don't know. You can ask
I'm the only
JD about that. There's
I'm the only
Interceptor
one that's
butt
nude right
naked.
now during the show.
I'm
Nobody
just
wants me to
asking for
stand up.
Jay. I know he's too modest to ask. Just
No, I'm not.
trying to be a
I'm not
friend.
I got no problem showing it. You know what I'm saying?
So Marvin,
It's not showing it. It's the problem, Jay. It's finding it. That's the problem.
You've been speaking to my ex-wife. I see.
So Marvin, you said 420. This launches.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right, let's bring up Ozzy's. Again, like I said, I have to. All right, here we
Oh
go.
my God.
You know what? I want to bring this up because this one was new for me. That's the Ozzy talk on it, man. I love it.
Yeah, this is the preview. Oh wait, that's the T-shirt.
That's the T-shirt, yeah.
Yeah, for that's the
Nice.
cover actually, or number one,
Mhm.
by Simon Beasley.
Oh,
Is this
wow.
a comic of the
Good for
movie?
you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was a classic movie.
Yes, it is. And so what we're doing is, it started as a simple, like one follow up, like a one shot comic book, but then I decided to expand it to do 6 or 8 comic books and call it Chronicles.
Mm.
The Sword and the Sorcerer Chronicles, and you can click in it. Click.
You want me to move? You want me to bring up the other page?
You can click it so you can see the model. And it doesn't look that good actually. Too small.
Does he ever get nude?
He's he's a handsome young
Just
man.
wait. It gets better.
All right.
But yeah, it doesn't look good that far away.
He looks fine to me. My God.
All right, hold on. Let's bring up the actual campaign.
Yeah. So, like I said, we were supposed to do just 1 or 2 books, and I decided to do more and expand the story. I actually asked Joe to create a new character
Hi.
for the story.
I heard my name.
Yeah. Actually, JD is also collaborating
What?
Yeah, this is the past campaign that we already finished, but it's on demand, so you can get
Right.
anything from here. You can get the book, sketch covers, my cover, Beasley cover, and it doesn't have many things that this is the other T-shirt too. The new campaign is gonna have holofoils. It's gonna have swords. It's gonna have actual poker cards, statues, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, now I have a question.
Yep.
Does this comic actually adapt the original movie, or does it take place after the movie's over?
This one is after the movie, just a few days after the movie ends.
Okay.
And then a new evil surface to actually the new one and the old one. The bad guy in the movie also shows up. It's revived by the witches.
Okay.
And it's an interesting story actually. I don't want to spoil it that much.
But it's the same characters in the movie.
Yes, and we are we have the rights.
You do?
Sorry.
Well, you do have the rights for the characters.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get sued.
Oh, awesome.
Ozzy, I have a question for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Before you asked JD to help you out with the piece, how many people had already said no? 20, 30, 100, 200?
He's my last reserve.
Wow.
500?
Oh, come on. No, I actually asked him earlier, but he was busy. And
I was happy that he asked me to do, what was it? It was 6 or 8 pages.
Yeah, let me show you. Actually, I finished the story you wrote. Let me share the screen share.
This Italian figure, right?
Yeah, that's the Italian figure. Yeah.
I posed for that, by the way. That was me. So
I was waiting for Jay to take credit for that.
No.
Got to be modest, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not everything is about me, baby.
Well, no, I mean, I thought you just posed for the loincloth. That's all.
I don't know, all the rippling muscles. That was me. That was me. All the rippling muscles. That was me.
Right.
The length of the sword is based on me.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
letting you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, baby.
This is part of the Joe's story.
Length of the sword. Oh my god.
And it's being colored right now.
Nice.
Well, that's very cool.
And for the next books, I have this guy. Oh, wait, this is not. Stefano Cardozelli. He's been doing a lot of stuff for heavy metal. And he's doing also a couple of stories, and he's doing covers. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Is he working with Evan Posios? Is this the same guy?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because it looks familiar. The name sounded familiar, and the art looks familiar too.
Yeah, this is some of the covers for the next campaign. I'm gonna release three books. This is I'm gonna show you the Simon Beasley cover.
That's a good guy. That's a classic business.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It took us a year.
Listen, you got it.
We were waiting for so long for this, but he delivered with a home run. So this is the Stefano Cardozelli cover.
That's awesome.
This is my cover. I did it in the way of the poster, old poster from the 80s.
Very cool.
Yeah.
This is another one.
That's funny.
Ozzy, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Creamy Rat Productions? Seriously? Really?
That's not mine, actually. That's my partner.
That's just
Oh,
funny.
still Creamy Rat. Oh no, not gonna get that out of my head for a while.
That's the time to do that. Believe me.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say that the original movie, The Sword and Sorcerer, is one of those great independent, little-known gems?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so great to see that in the theaters.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I remember watching it when I was a kid, a teenager actually. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So many much later on become famous people are in it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What's the guy from Night Court? Played Bull Shannon.
Richard
Yeah.
Mole.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was the
Yeah.
demon wizard.
Okay.
You can't even see him, but but that's him. It's amazing.
All right.
And
So
he just loves that stuff. Richard Mole is just he's a geek from way back. He just loves that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
and we're gonna try to do like merchandise, like
Oh,
swords,
cool.
like a little.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are those 3D printed?
Yes, they're 3D
Oh.
printer. Little.
Oh, there's wow, very cool.
Wow. That's nice.
Nice.
There you go. Now, did you have to, 3D scan
Yeah.
Scott for that?
Oh no. We
Oh,
didn't.
no, yeah. Remember, it took us hours. It was awesome.
So I was just to scan Scott.
Couldn't keep my loincloth on me. I kept trying to take it off, and he kept telling me to put it back on, and it was embarrassing but fun.
It happens. It happens.
That's great. I love you got those. Those are some really neat. What were you guys saying earlier? Tchotchkes. That's some really nice tchotchkes.
Yeah.
All right. Now
The hats too.
we have one more campaign to pull up, and then we'll wrap this up. All right. And we're gonna let Mr. Rosario talk about this one.
What? The long shot,
Long
ladies and gentlemen. Not to get into too much detail of how this came to be, but myself and a few other creators, Randy, JD included, have put our properties together to try to make a mountain out of a molehill and see if we can get some people to pick up our books. It's over on IGG right now, and you'll find all first editions.
Oh yeah.
5 books going for 25 bones plus $10 shipping, I believe. And great value for independent books. And for those, who are looking for a lower barrier of entry than usual, they can do that and get a whole bunch of books together at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say 25 boners or bones?
You're watching
If
the
we
chat
sell
too
out-
much.
If we sell out, yes. If we sell out, there will be 25 boners.
Okay.
There will be. So, Randy, if you want to take it from here, you've been quiet for a little bit.
Been quiet, letting everybody else speak. 7 creators, 9 books. Each book is 32 pages, beautifully printed. All the books are printed. They're sitting in a storage unit waiting to come to you. We're offering all 9 books as a package deal for only $25 plus $10 shipping. There are other tiers up there that include other tchotchkes, I guess you would say, including sketch cards and prints and metal bookmarks that are just look phenomenal. All of the books are just incredibly pretty. There's a lot of fantastic IPs here, a lot of different styles and different genres. The deal this was made for was to go out to the mass market so that anybody walking in off the street, not just in a comic shop, but off of the street, could come in and pick up a book and enjoy it fresh off the shelves. And it's just some phenomenal work and books that we don't want to see, or that we desperately want to get into people's hands, is what it is.
Correct.
There's even a goofy cartoon book in there about a 3-foot tall giant robot who fights big monsters.
Herobot Zero.
Herobot Zero.
And some of and if I can be a bit boastful about my friend Daphne, awesome stuff. That's just God.
It's such a great eclectic mix. And the thing is, even though this deal didn't go through, these IPs are not going away. I mean, a lot of these books are still coming out, and the rest of the stories are very accessible and easy to get a hold of. You're going to see future crowdfunding campaigns with these characters and these IPs. And there's just so much more to come from them. And this is a great way to get in on the ground floor on 9 really hot properties. And 9 really hot books, really.
Yeah, and I agree completely. I'm not trying to single out Daphne because I don't like the rest of them. I love everything in this package.
It's all great. Yeah.
I'm just singling out Daphne because I'm hoping she'll talk dirty to me again.
Whoa, now.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Down, boy.
Sorry, JD. I didn't know. I'm not trying to tread on territory here. But,
it's okay. It's okay. Listen, I know where she's sleeping, and I know where I'll be sleeping in a short while. So there you go.
So look at that shot with all of the books sitting there. Just so pretty.
Yeah.
And the books are beautiful. I'm telling you. And we had a first-time comic printer print these books. Had no idea how comics were put together. So he even put 3 staples into the spine.
Oh, that's right. That's that 3 staple joke I kept hearing.
Yeah,
3 staple joke.
I thought that was a Comics Wellspring you went through.
No.
Oh,
We had all these gang printed because we printed so many of them.
Wow.
And we had them all printed at once. Got a great deal from a great printer, and just a wonderful job.
Was that around your area, your side of the state, or?
Oh no, this was out of state.
It was printed in Illinois by a company called Kingery Printing.
So, out of Illinois. Oh, okay.
Was it Illinois? I thought it was Wisconsin. Sorry.
No, it was Illinois.
Okay.
So All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we made it to the end of the show. We went a little long, but we made it to the end.
Do take a look at that campaign over on Indiegogo. Read through it. There's a lot of different tiers. There's even a great executive experience tier. If you have 10 grand, we'll all come over and celebrate that with you, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Ray. Very nice. Hey! Can I beg one more minute?
Go ahead.
One more minute.
Do it.
All right. I want to show you my comic I've got out. Just real quick. Now I'm going to use Joe's technique. Okay.
All right.
He's just like that. Isn't that great?
That was great. I caught it. It was excellent.
This is Errantry, a magazine of a fantasy and sword and sorcery.
Nice.
Now, I won't take very long, but I'll say that this is basically a resurrection from a mini small press black and white comic I did with some friends back in 1980. And I've taken that same issue and I've totally redone everything in it. So you've got really cool posters and some professional layout design, and you've got some really cool comic story. Looks like old black and white newsprint technique, and then it's got my story I did in there, all blood and thunder, sword and barbarians and samurais, and it's got more cool poster art and everything. So anyway, I've just put this out, and I had it at conventions already, a few conventions, and look at muscles. Okay, so
more posing.
Yeah.
And it's got
the Norman Rockwell method on that with the mirror, looking at yourself in the mirror doing the muscles.
I'm getting really upset that people are using my body for so many different stories, and I'm not getting any.
I've paid you royalties, Jay, for those photos, so you know. So anyway, We could do a whole show on just errantry if that's okay. We can,
Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it one-on-one. I'll get in touch. We'll do it one-on-one, and then we'll work out. Now, but is it on Indiegogo? How are you selling? You selling it through your website?
No, I completely did it all by myself. No crowdfunding. I scraped together my pennies, and I paid for a pretty short print run. But I do plan to. There's going to be more issues after this one, and I do plan to do like special editions of it, or whatever. So I'll be running, crowdfundings for that.
Nice.
But for right now, I've got about a couple thousand copies of it that I'm, going to be taking with me to conventions. I've got like 12 or 14 events throughout the rest of the year, where I'm going to be hustling it and everything. So, but I'll release more info. Again, I'm not going to, I know you guys are all set up for today, but I figured I'd try and get in and, just get the word out a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So.
All right. Let me, all right. So, guys, we made it to the end. Thank you so much. Scott, please, we'll start with you. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
Okay. I got my Facebook page. It was hacked last year, so I had to rebuild it. There's not much on it, but you still find my name, Facebook. It's got that Hercules icon, Randy, not Samson, but it's a little Hercules icon. You can see it. So you can find me on Facebook. And like I said,
I knew it was Hercules. Somebody else said Samson.
I'm going to be at, 14 different events. Big Motor City Con in Detroit. I'll be at Grand Rapids Comic Con. I'll be down in Indianapolis. All kinds of places. But I'm going to be listing what I'm doing and where I'll be doing it probably sometime this week. So I'll be doing that and have my errantry comic book with me. So that's where you can find me.
Cool. Joe?
Actually, all my information is right there on that link tree here. And it looks like we got one person that left, and it looks like it was Mr. Rosario that fell out. But nevertheless,
his phone probably died.
Everything is there, and hopefully, I'm going to say this. Hopefully, I did everybody justice on my As Seen on crowdfunding show that I did last night. So if you haven't watched it, go to my YouTube channel. That's right there in the link tree here. I highlighted the long shots and a couple others here, and I actually show previous products from all the great people who have those campaigns out there. So you get to see the now out of print stuff such as Only Death Can Save Us, the original anthology of the Revolt book that you get issue number 1 in the Long Shots campaign, issues of the Oswell Chronicle, the Chronicles of Oswell. You see all of that plus my seal of endorsement for those campaigns.
Awesome.
Cool. Travis, where can we find you in your work, sir?
Oh, you're gonna leave that to me. I'm actually going to pass this one off to Dave because he's the one that did all of our social media work. All I can say is if you go to lakeshorecomics.com/Broken Trident, that's where you're going to find the link to get to our Kickstarter page that's live for the next 5 days. Obviously, we've funded, but we do still have a great deal of stretch goals to go. So any extra support anybody can give, that would be great. And just keep in mind, this is only the first issue of what we hope to be a much larger maxi series. And every bit of support will count. And we just appreciate everything so far. So thank you.
Very cool.
And Travis doesn't have any. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, JD.
We're going to get you on Facebook, but I'm sorry, Dave, please.
I've been trying. He doesn't have any Facebook at all. None. I couldn't even find a picture of him. The website had a picture of his cat when we first started the website. So, anyway, like Travis said, it's lakeshorecomics.com/Broken Trident. That'll take you right directly to the Kickstarter page. And then we have our straight up websites, lakeshorecomics.com. We also have Facebook page, just facebook.com/lakeshorecomics. I'm on Instagram and Twitter as @Dave Steinborn. And then we have a Lakeshore Comics Twitter and Instagram as well. It's @Lakeshore Comics on Instagram. It's @Lakeshore Comic on Twitter. For some reason, they couldn't let me have the S. So that's where you can find us.
Randy?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Linktree, Arrow Comics 4.0, Twitter, maybe. but I'm not up there very often. Other than that, you can find me on next Tuesday night on Dispatches from Outside the Box on the Raging 2 network. And then on Wednesday night, I host a podcast called the Zimcast, where we talk about comic news and pop culture. That's Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. And then Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., I do the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical side of comics. Like I like to say, we try to put the fun back in funny books. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m.
And that's where you can find me also,
That's on
because I'm
Raging
going to
2.
start loitering around Randy's links.
Scott's gonna start hanging around now that he's got his internet fixed.
Well,
Maybe.
Right. Nice. Mr. Ali, where can they find you in your work there?
You can find me on any social networks under Ozzy Longoria. You can find the Gemini Comics page, the Sword and the Sorcerer page on Facebook, and we are still selling on Indiegogo. It's on demand, and we're gonna launch the Kickstarter probably next week or in 2 weeks, depending on how soon they approve us. And I forgot to say that we're gonna also be selling the movie, the Sword and the Sorcerer 4K.
wow.
So, which it was released just last week, but we're gonna be selling it on our website too,
Good for you.
on the Kickstarter.
Cool.
So you guys
Awesome.
can do that, yeah. And the usual social networks.
All right, cool. Marvin, where can they find you in your work, sir?
You can hit me up on the edgecomic.com. I'm now forwarding that to the Kickstarter page, so that's my entire focus until that's done.
All right, nice. All right. Well, you can find me here every Sunday or almost every Sunday if I don't take it off. And Facebook, Twitter, DeviantArt Nolan, JD Calderon, theOswaldChronicles.com, and TallTalesOnline.com. And tomorrow I'll be on with the Raging Ladies 2 at 11 a.m. to launch the Oswald Chronicles, his latest adventure. So that's where I'll be at. So thank you so much, guys. You guys are all awesome. Love all the campaigns. And listen, Scott, we'll do a one-on-one, and we'll set that up and we'll get that going.
Awesome. I'll try to be entertaining.
All right, guys. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you.
Right.